Yeah, let's check. 1, 2, 1, 2. Hello. Hope everyone's doing well. All the different notifications hitting at once. Okay. Hello, everyone. Hope you're all doing well. Yeah, double checking. So, by the way, if you hadn't seen, I ended up getting a new extension added on. I'm not sure how well this will work here because I haven't tried using it before. But you should be able to now add in like little reactions. Kind of like that. Now, I'm not sure how much the default was to make it so that way you could use them. If you feel that they're a little overly costly, let me know. I'll try to see what I can do to adjust it in the settings. But I've never used this before, and someone suggested to go ahead and try like adding this kind of a thing. Because I know a lot of people like the ability to try to interact with, you know, what's going on with little reactionary things. So if like I, you know, had something that went horribly wrong, you do like the little laugh emote thing there, or you could end up doing some
emotional damage.
So, you can access that by hovering over the window. There's a small little thing called the blurp happy sound memes, alerts, and emotes. Now, I thought it was going to be bringing up a typical thing on my screen here, but I didn't do that. I don't know why, but I think it's probably because I'm just using the quick samples from it, and it's not me paying to use with any points, so it's not triggering that. But in any case, hope everyone has fun with that. But in which case, I decided that we'd just go ahead and jump into doing some drafting today. Huh. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure what exactly happened here, but for some reason, my system was having issues. I'm not sure why it was having issues. It never said I lost connectivity or anything, so... But in any case, continuing on with the draft, we'll go ahead and grab up some Extinguish the Light. Got a geothermal log, which is nice. Take that. Then I'll take the Necromass. Necromass is a bit expensive as a base, but it does get cheaper for each creature in your graveyard, and there's no actual cards in this set that allow you to interact with the graveyard, so we don't have to worry about our opponents eating cards from our graveyard to make that harder to play. I like Desecrator. Let's go ahead and grab that. The bit of a toss-up between the Kavu and the Void Sea Scavenger here. Both of them are pretty good. I think I'll go ahead and grab Kavu, because it's still a little more flexible on how strong it can be compared to Sea Scavenger. Sea Scavenger is great for setting up top of deck. Gonna take the Figment over Amplifier. We'll grab the Negate here. I think I'll take Shore Up. Shore Up's just a great card for being able to protect our cards. It's also got a small pump to it. And the untap actually does make it really good for catching people with a surprise blocker. I think I'll grab the draw here. You never have to actually think about, like, you have to kick this. You can always just place it as an easy 3-mana draw too, which makes it decent. We'll take the Flyer. Storm Drake's not a great card, being only a 2/3 flyer, but a flying creature still just, you know, just that. A flying creature. Hard to handle sometimes. Put that down there. That's actually not a bad thing to get past to at the end there. Kind of want to grab this just for the sake of building a soldier deck later, but let's see. Paula's Lookout's actually pretty decent. But outside of that, not much else excites me from this pack here. Hopefully the blue-red land wheels back around to us, and that's the best I can hope for out of this pack. I mean, the Battlefly Swarm's not terrible, but that's what I'm hoping to come back around. Yeah, when it dies, look at top 2 cards of the library, put one of them into your hand, the other in the graveyard. It's definitely not a bad card. Best card would be Eerie Soul Tender, but I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna just be rare drafting here. Need that for a deck. You know, I'm actually gonna try out the Frost Strider this time. Most of the time, whenever I'm doing a deck, I'm more like splashing blue, and this time I think I have a heavier mix of blue, so going for Frost Strider doesn't seem like a bad card to try. Yova is quite the bomb, and I'm surprised that it hasn't been picked yet, but if you're not in blue-green, or at least not in green and able to splash the blue, Battle Captain is amazing. We'll take it. If you're not familiar with the Battle Mage Captain, it's probably the best of the 2-drop legendary creatures. Well, I mean, I think it's like one of the few, but in which case, it's still one of the best 2-drops in the set, in my opinion. 1 blue, 1 red, flying, 1/3. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, all of your creatures will get +1/+0 and trample until the turn. So it's just so good. We'll go with a Impulse here. Oh, wait, do we want the Impulse or the Terror? I'm going to grab the Terror. I feel like that's something we can't really pass up. Definitely going to be looking for... Oh, I'm just going to take you. Because I'm greedy. And we'll take the... Better for to go for the Repossession or go for an Essence Scatter. Both of them are really good cards. We don't have the green in our deck, but we could potentially find like uh the mana from like the salvage mana worker here to be able to kick this. But Essence Scatter is still just a really solid card. Grab the Impulse. Impede Momentum is actually a very solid card, but we'll take the Impulse. The blue-red land did not cycle back, so we'll take the Espionage. I'm gonna take the Momentum over Soul Tender here. None of these are that amazing here. Alright, get another Scatter. Last pack. Ah, man, that is such a bomb. Tribute to Urborg is definitely our pick. But I won't lie, I kind of want to just grab this, get more copies for my collection. But we'll actually take the Tribute here. Tribute's like one of our stronger removal options that we can grab, so we'll take it. Battlewing Mystic, I love this card. Oh wow, we have a black-blue, a blue-red, a red-white, and a white-green land all in this pack. That is crazy. Flame Sage is actually pretty good too, but I think I want the Mystic more. Because we don't have a whole lot of combat tricks that we could play off of Flame Sage. So I'd rather get the creature here. It has like a guarantee draw. I guess Academy Wall is our better grab out of all of these cards. But we could take the Amplifier. Just double checking, like, what do we have in here? I think Amplifier is our best pick just because we can use it like a overly constant mana war to bounce an opponent's card. Alright, between these two, it's either going to be the Terror or the Jin. I think the Terror is probably our better pick. As much as I love Outrider, we're not built for Outrider with this deck. Mindsinger. We actually can use Mindsinger because of the red kicker, so I think we'll take that. Let's see, I think we'll take the Impulse. I don't know if we want the Chucky Miasma here or not. But we could use it. Most of our cards are late game expensive. So having an early sweep is not bad. We'll determine once we get to the cutting floor whether we keep it or not. Take the black-blue land. We get the wall. Oh, awesome. More lands. I mean that in actually a positive way. Talent Interference, it's a cantrip. Cantrips are actually pretty good considering we have multiple um, Talarian Terrors. Alright, since we have the deck built the way we do, we probably don't use Necromass. See here. I'm actually not sure how useful the Raven Man's going to be. But I ended up picking this as like a pack one pick one just because I thought it was an interesting potential card. We have to cut 7 cards ultimately from the deck. Let's actually cut the Soaring Drake. I didn't really feel like it was that strong of a card when we grabbed it. It was just there was nothing else in the pack. The... I think I have more small creatures than I realized, so let's actually take Choking Miasma out. Let's try to cut... I'll cut the Negate, cut the Amplifier. Actually, let's keep Amplifier. What am I thinking? This is always where it gets a little tricky once when you're at the cutting floor. I will cut Mana Worker. We actually did get ourselves some fixers. We don't have anything that really requires a heavy amount of red, with the exception of Kavu. But even then, it's still decent only having like 1 or 2 sources for it. Definitely, primary blue. Black and red are both a bit of a splash here. I really want to keep the Captain in the deck, just because even though we don't have a whole lot of creatures to take advantage of this, it means that creatures like our Terror and the Frost Strider can't just get jump blocked, because we could always use some type of play spell and get the +1/+0 trample for all our creatures. I think what we do is we actually do cut the Raven Man. And I'm going to cut the Kavu. From here, we're at 41 cards, but we have a lot of card draw potential. I think we'll go ahead and leave it here and call it good. I could always go with my usual plan and just trim a land so that when I'm not on 17, just go down to 16. But I think I'll just leave it as is. So yeah. So our deck plan for this draft is we play lots of spells for the Terror. Most of them a little cantrippy. That's why I'm using Timely Interference, because we can just use this to, even if we're not like using it as a combat trick, we can just simply get a quick draw card, get a spell into our graveyard, make this cheaper. We have some counterspell magic. We have Impede Momentum to stall. We have Impulses. We have the Academy Wall that whenever we cast our instant sorceries, we get a draw card. Got some just straight up draw from Phyrexian Espionage. Extinguish the Light as a removal. So we are a little light on overall direct removal, because we just are relying on Tribute to Urborg, Extinguish Light, and we have Impede Momentum to tap something down. We do have Frost Strider also keep something tapped down for a turn. But we do have the Mindsinger, which could steal anything power 3 or less if we kick this, because it becomes a 4/4, and it can only steal things with power less than it. And we do have the ability to get spells back from our graveyard for a one-time replay. And we also have the Belmore Battle Mage to go with all our high spell count to pump all of our creatures. So this could be interesting. Let's get the games going. Why is the latency high? Alright. From the open, I don't like the look of this hand, really. But we do have an Essence Scatter, we do have a Tribute to Urborg, so I think we can keep it. Alright. My faith in the deck drawing lands is going to get punished from how it looks. Yep. I decided to keep myself at 17 lands to try to prevent myself from having this land draw issue, but... Alright, there we go. We drew land. Pass it back to the opponent. Opponent's on red, green, white. It looks like they went with a play big cards plan here. I just have to maybe get a little desperate, go for some card draw, try to get that land. But I think it's better for us to maybe hold up with the Essence Scatter still. Alright, opponent's playing nothing. Since we're going to have to discard anyways, we'll put the wall to the board. Could be like the opponent's just holding on. Yeah, I was going to say just a whole bunch of removal. Yeah, they just land pass again. We'll land pass as well. That can resolve. I don't care about a little 1/1 Death Toucher. You know, I just don't care about a little 1/1 Death Toucher in general. Alright. Well, let's impede its momentum, though. This will allow us to try to find some lands. Actually, let's keep the Impulse. Because what we can do is we can Impulse. So that way this gets cheaper. Try to find lands to make it so that way we can actually play. Alright, Impulse. Grab the black-blue source. I feel bad that I'm putting all of those cards on the bottom since there's so much good stuff there. Because Battle Mage plus our red source. I decided to go with the black-blue source just because I wanted the double black in case we hit the Extinguish. Although I think I put the Extinguish on the bottom there. Alright, we're just going to take the extra damage from the Flowstone Kavu here. If they choose not to play anything to the board, we use Tribute to kill it end of turn. Yes, we will Essence Scatter that. That's a large enough body that warrants removal. Now we go for the kick and steal the Flowstone Kavu. I think that is the play. Alright, next turn they'll be able to use their Gardener. get punished because I didn't remove the gardener because of bite down. That's a shame. Well done, opponent. Well done. That's a nice play. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and kick this, get ourselves some card draw, make the opponent discard. They have to have some kind of action in their hand that we're making them lose, since they haven't really been playing anything. The fact that I hit both of our other tap lands kind of feels bad. I was hoping to hit like one more untapped source, so that way we had options here. I was actually thinking about the fact I could possibly bring Terror to the board. But yeah, it looks like our opponent might just be on a handful of removal. Okay, so Vine Sheep Propriety is basically its impulse effect for a kicker on the creature. Let's go ahead and kick another one of these. Just go for an advantage on the cards in hand. Play this for 1 blue. Pass it back to the opponent. We hold up Tribute to Urborg. Please pay that ward too. Okay, and now I will Tribute. At this point, we have too many lands. We end up going through a lot of our spells here, just so that way we can try to find the lands to be able to get onto the board, and now we just have way too many. I guess it's not terrible, considering we can mana dump pump this. Oh wait, no, you can only activate this once each turn. Alright, we're going to take a bit of a hit here. Unfortunately, this creature has Menace. Well, go ahead and hit the board here. Alright, upon sending them both in, we offer a double and we go for a block here. We're at too low of a life to not, you know, go for the block. Alright, they go for a bite down. We'll go for a pump. Now, I know they weren't targeting this specifically with the bite down. They're trying to save their Kavu. But I'm trying to make it sound like we still don't lose our Firebrand in that trade. Alright, let's go for our Mystic with a kick. And get ourselves more card value. Get ourselves a Lookout. And we pass it back to the opponent. That's 2 bite downs for our opponent? No, 3 bite downs for our opponent. That's a lot of bite down. Alright, they don't attack in. Go for a Desecrator. Sacrifice Desecrator. Makes it so we can replay Tribute to Urborg. And we'll get rid of the Molten Monstrosity. Play the land. We'll just send the Mystic. I'm going to hold both of the other 2 back as blockers. That way we don't get potentially blown out by an attack in with a kicked pump on Kabu. It'll be a blowout, but possibly survive it is what I'm mainly going for. Timely interference could actually make us force him to block with the Kavu. It does shrink it on power. I think we're going to have to go for that. Actually, let's go for Frost Rider here. Force the opponent to tap this. They can't use it. Timely interference. The opponent must block it. Our Firebrand, and that's causes them to scoop it. Alright. Because we had just enough mana left over after that kick there that we can activate Firebrand, and that would kill this. We could attack in, get some good damage through. And next turn we could put a pressure of an all attack. If they don't put any creatures to the board, it'd be lethal. I won't lie, I got a little worried about that one. We did get pretty low. Is the music coming in louder than usual, or is it just me? There we go. Let me know if it's too quiet for your end. I can just adjust it still. Okay. On the open, I'm not going to keep this one. Just because I'm worried about the mana we have. Plus, we don't have any early interactions other than Tribute not being able to be played. So we're relying on Essence Scatter only. 0 blue sources. So Mulligan, I'm going to have to keep this one now at this point. This is some pretty bad luck on the draw RNG here. Let's go ahead and put shore up on the bottom, and we'll put the... I don't have any way to shuffle the deck, so I don't really want to put Terror on the bottom, but I'm gonna get greedy, put a Swamp on the bottom. Oh boy, we drew our most expensive card that doesn't get discounted down from having spells in our graveyard, like the Terror here. So, this might just be a very quick match that we lose, because that's the last of our interaction right now. We have to hopefully draw some cards that we can interact with our opponent with. Get to Amplifier doesn't really do much for us. Amplifier, I generally see it's more like a 5-drop. It just happens to be a 2-drop that we can... Yeah, I'll trade. I will definitely take that trade. Oh, where is our blue sources? We need it now. If we go blue source, we might actually have a decent hand here. Well, I think I lose to that Jaya there. I hit the black-red tap source. That's, like, completely useless. Alright. Finally a blue source. Problem is, we have to now wait for our opponent to go for another creature that we can counter with Essence Scatter. We can play the Terror after that, but they have to put something else to the board for us to interact with. At this point, the opponent doesn't have to do anything in its board state. Alright. Go for Frost Strider. Keep the Knight tapped. How does your minus work again? Choose target creature and opponent controls whenever you attack this turn. This will deal damage to equal number of attacking creatures that creature. So next turn they actually could use that for the -2 here, and they could kill off our Frost Strider. Or they could just, you know, kick a sleeper. Yeah, this is not going well. And if I bring Terror to the board, they have 5 creatures. They could do that exact same issue. I guess we have to go with the Haunting Figment. This would be the case where I need that -2/-2 spell that I didn't put into the deck. But I had to mull down so much because I didn't like any of the cards we were getting. Yep. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, we're down low enough that they have us dead. I'm just going to go ahead and scoop it up. Give them the GGs. Because there's nothing we can draw here. That was a case we lost to our mana base. Like, Shuffler decided to never give us any of the correct lands with our opening hand. Okay. I actually feel confident in this hand. We'll keep this one. It's probably our best starting hand so far of the day. Still need to get a second blue source, second black source because we drew the one of Extinguished Delight. Alright, put in place a Chick. So they have us on that 20-turn clock here. We'll just land pass, hold up Essence Scatter. Yeah, I don't want you having information about my hand. Do I just Mindsinger take the Chick? Is it worth doing that? No, there's got to be something better. I think this is always one of those cases. If you have the opportunity to just pass turn and be able to wait until you can kick this, it's best. Especially considering the Chick can't, like, provide a chump block, so that way we can get exchanged if, before, you know, we lose a Mindsinger. Land pass. I think our plan is we kick Amplifier, reset a card on board. And then we could go Frost Strider, tap down Protector. And then we can use that to help us block the Vanguard. While the opponent could just go for an attack in with this and be able to make a trade. There's our steel target. Opponent's turn. Oh, they have a Destroy Evil. Rude. This actually has to attack to give them their trigger that they're looking for. But unfortunately, they're all flying creatures, so we're going to have issues here. We have to have this get off the board. And we have to deal with the flyers. But unfortunately, we don't have a way to handle them right now. So let's do this. We'll kick this back to hand. Play this to the board. Pass it to the opponent. The opponent's smart. They actually have lethal in the air. I just don't know if they can see it. Does 3, 6, 7, 8. They don't see it. Oh, wait. They get it a different way. I wasn't expecting the token spell. I was trying to see if they had the ability to spot activating Vanguard. Because you can spend 5 mana creatures control, get +1/+1. That would have been lethal against us. But I had to try to play to the board the way we could. Unfortunately, they just had air pressure we didn't have any response to. Like, we had one Extinguish the Light, and Mindsinger early, probably take the chick, was the correct answer. Because opponent had Destroy Evil. I was worried that the opponent might have a Lightning Strike. So, going Mindsinger, take the chick, I just see my Mindsinger get hit by Lightning Strike, but then again, I guess that prevents 3 damage from going to our face. Oh well. That's just a shame. The opponent had just the answer for us. Because if Mindsinger got to live, we would have been able to attack the opponent for lots of damage. And then we could have used the kill spell on one of their flyers, got life back. Alright. It's awkward, but we'll keep it. It's one of those risks about being a 3-color deck is just making sure you can draw the lands right. While I did get multiple lands that can tap for 2 colors. Oh, hello, Rudy. How are things going? Thank you very much for the raid. Did my alert not go off? Why is my alert not going off? I need to maybe fix that. But how you doing there, Rudy? Hope things are going well. Let's see. We'll go for the land, pass it to the opponent. So how was your stream? Did you enjoy yourselves? I mean, things have gone better for our drafts. That's definitely for sure, but did pull, I think, a decent deck here. Just the draws haven't been treating us very well at the moment. Alright, we'll go for the lookout. Yeah, I mean, we actually, just the last opponent, I felt like we had a very strong hand, but they kept us... They had just, like, the perfect answers to our plays, and it was like, they had the early aggro, and when we tried to answer their cards, they had, like, the right responses to us. I mean, that just happens sometimes. You just play a game, and you either just have, like, the right answers, and you keep your opponent completely off the board, and sometimes it's the opposite. Our opponent decides to actually take out the Amplifier. I guess they're afraid to kill the Lookout just because we get a card off of it. Well, let's go ahead and impede this momentum, so that way they can't get the life gain off the attacks. Yeah. I mean, we also lost one match just because we ended up having to mull down to, like, 4 because we couldn't hit lands. It's one of those things, when you go 3-color deck, sometimes you just can't hit the lands right. And we saw, like, an all-blue hand, only black-red lands, so we mulled that. That's the kind of situation that we end out in a little bit of. Alright, let's go for the Frost Rider here. Tap this down, get in some more attacks. Alright, opponent's going to arrest probably our Frost Strider. Just because they're going for the largest body. Now, arrest is an exile, not a destroy, so the vampire they have does not get to grow. We'll go for the terror. I'm kind of getting bored of playing mono black and want to build something new. Not a fan of the green-white meta deck either, full on enchantments. Well, the enchantment deck is just the old enchantment deck. There actually was the Celestia enchantments before. And it is a good deck. But the funny thing is I don't really come across it that often. I'm either against Esper, Super Friend Control, or I'm playing against Mono Black. On occasion, I play against Zur, which is kind of like Esper Control, but instead of being a Super Friends, you're just getting locked down with enchantments. Alright, opponent goes for a Runic Shot. We actually don't want either of these. Trying to think, like, what's our better grab here? I think it's probably still the Essence Scatter, since, you know, the wall can't block these anyways. The main issue is they have a lifelinker here. Ooh, do we have a removal spell? I guess we can just go for the Impede Momentum again. Alright. Activate this way. Grab Impede Momentum. I know we're growing the Connoisseur here, but that's more my issue is the lifelinker. We'll leave Impulse on top. Bug definitely has some really scary cards here. Looks like they unfortunately are going to hit our Haunting Figment with a removal spell. And they give up the lifelinker. Do they go for a creature to the board so that we can make use of this Essence Scatter? Alright, they do. That's a good one for us to scatter, considering it's a big body. I'm going to Impulse first. Mindsinger is a nice sized body if we kick it, but we can't steal their creature. Still probably best for us to go for it. If we go for the Espionage, we can play both Espionages, draw 4 cards. Dig for the removal spell to answer the creature on board. I actually like that a little bit. Alright. No removal spell, unfortunately. Let's see, we can use Timely Interference, Shrink Connoisseur so that way it doesn't hit us as hard. Get a redraw. Another Impulse. Alright, let's Impulse first. Go for the Terror. Land Terror for 2. Bring out the Firebrand. And we'll kick this, get a draw 2. And we'll put out a Figment. There we go. That's a lot of card play. But yeah, no, right now you are correct though, Rudy. There is so much mono black running around that is hard to handle. And the thing is, there's no real like definite answer to mono black. It's just got everything. All right, there we go. The opponent went for a kicked draw to remove our card from hand. Didn't like what they found and scoop it up. Now, the thing is, it's if they were going for this espionage, I think for our opponent, it would have been better for them not to kick it, kind of like how we were just going for, trying to dig for playable cards within a turn. And it would have then potentially given them the option of, like, the extra 2 mana potentially gives them 5 mana to play to either get another creature to the board or a removal spell to play against us. But because they decided to kick this, they restricted their resources. And that's one of those things that it's... Do you try to deny your opponent the card, or do you make sure you can play to the board? With their life total and what we have, would have been better to try to play to the board. Well, that's the thing is, I think Mono Black is such an amazing deck. And it does, you can actually build it in ways that it can do a lot of different things. You can either be mono black aggro, but you still run Shouldred and, you know, the meat hook because they're amazing. But the thing is, you can also just go mono black control and you still just do amazing. The thing is, I like to try to brew decks, and one of the deck ideas that fights mono black the best I've had, like, success-wise, has been this Can't Stay Dead deck. And this white-black Reanimator deck here does really well, partially because we get to get a lot of card draw going for us because of the Welcoming Vampire, Spirit Companion, replay cards from the graveyard thanks to Extraction Specialist and the Sarah Paragon. And we get to make use of strong removal like Rites of Oblivion. Cards go in our graveyard as long as they don't get exiled. We can always just keep looping them back to the board. And we get a lot of value off this. Plus, Touch of the Spirit Realm works amazing in this deck because if we actually do bring something back with Sarah Paragon, we can actually use this for the discard channel effect to protect our card from dying. And it resets it back to the board so we can get like any of the ETB effects like Extraction Specialist again. And then we can also replay Touch the Spirit Realm to lock up a creature or artifact with the Sarah Paragon. So this has actually been a really strong deck against Mono Black. And cards like Cathar Commando work exceptionally well because we can, you know, flash it to the board so we don't have to dedicate anything and play around cards also. So, but also the Voldarian Bloodcaster here is particularly useful because it gives us blood tokens, which is good with, you know, giving us sacrifice options for Rite of Oblivion. But because we have so many potential cards just going to the board and then dying, we can potentially transform this and make it so we can just transform those blood tokens into 2/2 bat tokens. So if we're looking for a different deck, this is a great one. And I even actually have a video on YouTube covering our times with it. And if you want a link to that one in particular, you can check it out at this link. So, I mean, this at least is something competitive and lets you play around things. If you want to make this deck a little bit better, I would recommend getting the Caves of Kolos for the deck. I didn't have, I don't have 4 copies of these, and I only just got the one here recently. Because it'll help you play to the board a little bit better. And you do actually have some life gain with Extraction Specialist. But the storefronts are actually particularly useful still, because we can play these back from the graveyard with Paragon. It also deck thins us, considering most of our mana cost is 2. So we don't want to necessarily flood. So I hope that, you know, works out for you. Alright, just going to jump back into our games here. Yeah, currently we've already lost 2 matches with this deck, so I'm not don't think we'll be able to make the full 7, but let's see how far we can push it. Goal is at least hit 5. Alright, this is keepable. Got ourselves 2 different 2-drops. If we can hit the land for espionage, that'd be great. And there we go. We'll lead with the Figment. I have to lead with Figment because if the opponent does start with a removal spell, I was fine with trading it. Alright, let's attack. See if they trade with Picker. Most people like to keep the Picker because it has that discard draw functionality to it. But I'm willing to take the trade just to deny them the ability to keep their hand flexibility. Alright, there we go. We'll get the Firebrand to board. And we already have 3 mana on board, so we can actually use this pump ability on it. Our opponent's just going to pass. We'll go lands attack. No responses. Alright, we'll go for the espionage. Alright, opponent's turn. Alright, Micromancer for our opponent. Allows them to get any 1-cost spell. They go for the infusion. Let's go for the attack. See if they take the trade. Alright. Question time. Do we let them kill the Firebrand here? With that Flowstone Infusion? Or do we hold up the pump mana? Or do we, you know, I think I'm just going to go ahead and hold up the pump mana. Might actually make the opponent think we're also holding counterspell magic. Alright, infantry for our opponent. Opponent's counting lands. Yeah, it's like, we do have the ability to pump it. We don't have the ability to multi-pump. So if they have 2 removal spells, it's definitely dead. If it's damage-based. They have straight-up Lightning Strike, we lose the creature because it is a 3 damage scenario, and we only +2/+2 off of the Firebrand skill. Our opponent's going to stay back. We'll go land, move to combat. Let's swing in. They can't block with the infantry because it has less power. Alright, we'll take the trade. And let's see. Go for the wall. And I'm going to use espionage, loot the land away. If we can get the wall to stick to the board. But apparently they have Essence Scatter. Which means it's great that I didn't go for these terrors yet. Double land draw. Ah, man, I really feel bad I lost that wall there. Alright, what do we get off the top? Tribute to Urborg. Let's see. We could kick that, get rid of infantry, because we have 1, 2... So that's -4, -4. I think what we do is we... pass it to the opponent. I want to do it at their end step. That way we can potentially eat into their mana. And also if they went for any type of special combat tricks, we had the answers. Alright. Nothing from our opponent now. Alright, that gives us enough mana that we can go for double terror this turn. Next turn we can play a Mystic, we kick it, we get some card draw. Opponent, that's very expensive way to try to kill one of those, but alright. So they get to Lightning Strike, Flowstone Infusion, get rid of one of these. But what about the other terror? Do you have the deal 5 damage Jaya's Inferno? No, they're going to return it back to our hand. Okay. So, let's go for the terror back to the board. Play the captain. And we'll get out the Mystic with a kick still. We had just enough mana to play all of these. I was worried that we actually were drawing too much mana, but apparently it was just the right amount. Alright, so they infuse to get rid of, but that's fine. We got the draw still. Alright, opponent gets their terror. And their Mystic. Nice, nice, nice. Now, if we can get our removal spell for the terror, that'd be amazing. Did they get Shore Up? Or do you have another infusion? Yeah, they got Shore Up. So we have to find that removal right now. Actually, how much cards do we have in our graveyard that are instants? 1, 2. Not enough. So we have to Impulse. Our creatures grow. We'll take the Momentum. Yeah, we'll take Momentum. Bring this to the board. Let's see, it costs us 2 mana to sacrifice. So we can't actually use Tribute this turn. We'll keep the Amplifier. We'll send the team. They can do a double block, get rid of the terror here. Now, the opponent can, yes, of course, use Shore Up, untap the terror. It actually does get around our card there, but at the moment, I think we just send the attacker in the air. Trying to think, what do we do here? I could make it so that way we could replay the Espionage, get the card draw. But I think what we do is we put this to the board for 2. And we pass a turn. This allows us to potentially... What's this do again? I hadn't seen this art for it, so okay. It's the one that allows them to attack, may pay 2, and copy an instant sorcery. Alright. Let's see, so it'll be our turn. We can Frost Strider, tap something, but they can always shore up and untap and surprise us. So that's not helpful. Let's go ahead and go with the Espionage. Play it for regular. Timely Interference actually is pretty good here. So let's go ahead and attack in. Now, opponent might just see this as just a simple trade. But by playing Timely Interference, we actually do get the ability to grow our creature to trample over. Even if they shore up here, our spell does get us the extra power. And we're representing lethal on board, and yeah, there we go. We got it. Okay. I think this is keepable. Alright, opponent has to play. So I'm trying to think, though, do we hold up the Essence Scatter, or do we play to the board? I think our goal is play to the board. Just because they have Brawler out is why I'm playing to the board. It is a powerful card. Alright, opponent has a Bite down. That's unfortunate. Go for the Figment. No blocks. We'll attack in, and we'll pass. Alright, opponent's going to bounce our creature. We'll go for a timely interference just to reduce the amount of damage we're taking. Get a card draw. We'll also impulse. Mindsinger, actually pretty solid. So, attempt Mindsinger. I know I'm potentially running myself into Counterspell magic, but... Alright, we don't get hit by Counterspell. We take the Brawler. And since we're a 3-color deck, we still have a 3/3 body off of it. Alright, let's go to combat, see what happens. Let's just bring out Figment and pass it back. We'll hold up the Essence Scatter. And yeah, there we go. We make them scoop already. I think the opponent might have just flooded a little bit, but we'll take it. I mean, it teaches them that just bouncing the 2/1 once they have the, pressure advantage might not have been the best call there. Alright, so we did lose too early, but we are making a strong push with the deck. We're already up to 4 wins. Taking this one out. It's a little risky, but I'm keeping it. Mana of any color lets us start espionaging and finding more lands. So, oh, please, deck, don't hit us with that mana screw. Let us actually keep playing the game. All right, we're gonna keep playing the game. We'll go for the attack first. And now we'll go for an espionage. Sharp's not a bad card, but we unfortunately need a second blue source. But this is one of the reasons why you go for the attack first. Because the opponent was holding up the lightning strike in case we played like another 2 or 3 drop that was more threatening than this 2/1. They're also probably playing around us having a shore up. Alright, so they kick the Iconoclast, get in for 4. Let's go for the Lookout. Probably gonna get hit by like a Bite down here. Seems to be everyone's like favorite spell to use right now. I mean, it's a good spell, don't get me wrong. It's one of Green's best removal spells. Alright, Flame Sage, we have to take that one out. I've seen the power of Flame Sage when we used it, and don't want to get taken out by it. Oh, geez, I just realized we had a chat in YouTube a while back. I do apologize, Joey. CMP. I did not see that until now. I hope you're doing well over there. Oh, sorry, I had priority. I do apologize. We had a priority, so the opponent couldn't move between effects because of the shore up. Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Try to think, how do we deal with the Defiler here? So, we attack, shore up, and kick, remove. No, I did the math wrong. Oops. Oops, oops, oops. I punted. I counted this as a spell. Oh, jeez. When I punt, I go hard on that punt. All right. Well, yeah. Good game, opponent. I punted super hard. So, in order for me actually to have dealt with that Vigor, I would have had to not have done what I did. I should have attacked in still, just to get that 3 damage through. Or actually, no, I should not have attacked in with the creature. Just held it back as a blocker, and held up the shore up to potentially pump our creature and protect it from Broken Wings. And we do the kick minus on the Vigor if it attacked in, because they're more than likely going to attack in. That would have made it that way, yes, it would have been a trade against our creature. But we would have stopped the Vigor. We still would have taken a lot of damage, but we would have... actually, we wouldn't have taken that much damage. We would have only taken really the 4 from the Iconoclast. Because Vigor would not have been able to trample over for any real damage. Because we would have shrunk it down to a 2/2. They go for the removal spell. We increase our creature by +1/+1. So we would have still had a 3 toughness. So we wouldn't have taken trample. And let's see. If we got Desecrator there, we could play that. Play the Espionage. Still take damage next turn. But been in a much more favorable position to recover. Yeah. I can't believe I accidentally miscounted this as a spell. It's one of those things with this card. It's hard to make sure how much you're minusing because of the fact that it's -2, -2, then an additional -1/-1 for each card in your graveyard. That's instant or sorcery. So if you glance quickly, you have to do the math. And it's sometimes a little hard to make sure you're doing it right. Oh well, that stops us at 4 wins, unfortunately. But 4 wins is a bit of a break-even point. So the we don't really lose any gems here for this. In case you're wondering, this is what we were running. We ended up getting some really good cards. Unfortunately, Mindsinger here, we ended up playing this in 3 games, and 2 of the games, it just got answered, and it wasn't very helpful because of that. But the one game where it wasn't answered, it just snowballed a win, so. The Terrors, though, definitely one of the strongest commons in this set that you can build around, and definitely showed power. I do love the Battle Mage Captain. Unfortunately, we didn't get to see too much play out of it this time, but it did do its work when it showed up. Frostfist Strider, though, I'm trying to think, though. It felt like it was an okay card. I don't know if like this is a card that you have to absolutely pick up if you're in mono blue, but or I mean like if you're in a blue heavy deck, but it just didn't feel bad. So, but if you're playing against people who have shore up, not only can you be denied um, the effect because of the hexproof, but you have to be careful that they suddenly untap that creature and use it as a blocker. So keep that in mind. All right, let's claim our prize. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and jump back into another draft. See if we can maybe find ourselves a better run. After this draft, we'll probably switch over to doing some Brawl Deck crafting to get ourselves ready for the tournament tomorrow. If you're not familiar, we actually do participate in a historic Brawl tournament on every Monday. And it takes place usually at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Oh wow, that's a bomb right off the start. Yes, Sphinx of Clear Skies. 5 mana, 5/5 flying ward already just makes this one of the strongest cards that you can draft. But the domain skill makes it even better. So here we go. And I'm still seeing the fact that we could potentially see some other amazing blue cards, blue support cards come around. So. Stronghold Arena is a pretty good card. I'm just looking at what all we have here, but not much else. I think Citizen's Arrest is our strongest next pick out of all of these cards, so we can go white-blue here. Since we saw Wrath, I doubt we'll get Wrath back, but if we potentially could get Wrath, that would be amazing. I shouldn't count on it. But white's got a lot of great cards, and if we have the Sphinx Clear Skies, I don't mind the idea of trying to find Take Up a Shield to help us protect it also. So we'll take that. Oh, we got just straight up Counterspell. That's not bad to take. I think, though, do we want the Urtai Scorn here? Do we want maybe the Impulse or the Sea Scavenger? All of them are great cards. Terra Sunder's also really strong. Go blue, black, green instead of the colors we were originally thinking. I think I'll actually grab Sea Scavenger right now because it helps us set ourselves up on draws. So we'll go with that actually for the plan. Alright. Do we take the cut down or tribute? Tribute is a good card as long as I don't make that mistake like last time, miscounting spells. I was one spell count off when I last used it. Cut down is a decent removal spell, but I think there's plenty of cards that says it's not super effective for the draft that I want to grab it. Do you like the idea of grabbing short? But I'm going to take Tribute because we might not find the white cards. Alright, Rager is great. Gibbering Barricade's also really good, but I think I'm going to go with the Rager. Because just a straight enter battlefield draw card is really nice, even though it costs us a life point. Okay, both of these are strong cards. Do we go with the Sheoldred Faithful here? Or do we go with the Wardleech? Wardleech just has a... Let's see. Has prime toughness equal to the highest mana value among cards in your graveyard. I think the Faithful probably our better pick. Let's see. Grab the Figment. I really like Figment. This still went around. We'll go ahead and grab it. I don't think it'll be our best pick for our deck, but it's not a bad card by any means. I actually absolutely hate this card, so I'm just going to grab this. Wait, there's multiple Stronghold arenas going around? I didn't even notice. I'm sorry, I'm going to be greedy and just grab them for the collection's sake, because I didn't really care for much of the other cards anyways. Grab the Impulse. Might actually want to turn ourselves into a low-cost aggro deck, just because of all these arenas. Let's grab Shore Up. Don't care for either of these, but Crusher will be what we'll grab. That Red Saga really doesn't feel that good. Alright, Warleech came back to us. Oh, a Hadi Jin? Yeah, I'll take that. Yeah, no, that seems amazing. Alright, so definitely taking at least one of these out. Can't really split these. Alright, well, wait until the... This is useless, right? So, Tribute to Urborg. Yeah, it seems like our best grab. Take the Citizen's Arrest out and just try to see if we can build ourselves black-blue. I don't want to have that double white spell in our deck since we already have such a build going already. Geyser's pretty good because even if we don't have the white source, we get to just straight draw a card off this. If we're not grabbing Geyser, it would be Runic Shot, and this is... I'm fine with splashing a, one white symbol spell into the deck. I just don't want to go with the Citizen's Arrest at this point, because I definitely feel we're going black-blue. I know Sphinx of Clear Skies likes the domain skill for having multiple land types, so that way we can, get more cards to our hand. We might be able to do that if we grab Eerie Soul Tender, but I think what we do is we'll grab the Artillery Blast. Hopefully that white-blue source wheels back around. Not a fan of most of these cards, but we'll grab the Sea Scavenger for right now. Pixie Illusionist is actually pretty decent because it helps fix our mana. It's a 1-drop, so it can also be a nice early aggro card. We'll probably never see the kick effect take off for us, but also the other thing that's nice about the Pixie Illusionist is even if we don't have, like, colored mana sources like a red or a green in our deck, we can turn our deck into those for the purpose of these domain skills. It's actually a really cool card. I haven't been able to really use it too much with the draft. I think Shadow Prophecy, our pick here. Well, there's a removal spell for you. I think our better pick's the Wall. A nice 0/5 wall, early defender, gives us a little looting ability. Not bad at all. Not a fan of most of these. Sea Scavenger, I think, is our best pick. Blight Pile's not bad, but we don't have that many cards with Defenders, so... We got 3 Scavengers. Illusionist. I may have wanted to grab up the Negate, but I think we're fine without it. Yeah, these are probably going to have to come out. Alright, Soul Tender is going to be more useful for us, I think, out of those. Soul Tender's mill 3 to yourself can sometimes be an issue where you mill your bombs, but luckily you can actually, you know, add creatures back to your hand with it. Nope. Alright, yeah, we'll take the Silver Scrutiny. This is a draw X spell. If you pay a X of 3 or less, you can play it as if it had Flash. So 5 mana, you can play it during your opponent's turn. Still draw 3 cards. Let's see. Not too much here excites me on this pull. Would have loved it if we actually were able to have taken the removal spell, but I wanted to try to take the draw, as we don't have a whole lot of draw in our current build. I think Tide Turner is probably our better pick out of these. But then again, Timely Interference isn't bad because it helps Jhin get more power. We can cantrip our way around. Micromancer I actually kind of like. Trying to decide if there's any other card we want out of here. We'll take the Micromancer. Micromancer will help us find the shore up. And we'll take a land. I think I'm take Rager over Desecrator. Desecrator's not bad. I'm trying to think, like, what's the better pick? Oh, so we're going to be taking Warleech out. I'll take the Rage Blessing, just because it allows us to give Indestructible to our creature. Nice having an extra protection spell. I think we're actually going to end up cutting this Artillery Blast. I was taking it just in case we found like more cards in white that we were willing to splash. Let's see, any of these... Atrocity's actually not bad. But I think we'll take the Vivisector. It's gonna be very awkward looking once we get to the cutting board here. Like, I took this Jhin thinking we could find more spells that would be good for the deck, but doesn't seem to be the case. think it's between these two. I want Desecrator more. Hi, Turner. Yeah, we're just gonna trim that. Grab Splatter. Put that on the bottom. Put that on them. Like, we're not gonna run those cards. Alright. Let's see here. Cut that. Actually, let me reread that. Make sure I understood how it worked. Reveal top card. Top 5 cards from your library. Put a land from among them into your hand. Rest on the bottom. If you didn't put a card in your hand this way, you just straight draw a card. Yeah, I think... because we have to reveal... Hey there, Elsewhere Angel. How things going? Hope you're doing well. Man. This is a bit of an awkward situation we have here. Just got home from a long day, driving and such. Well, since you just managed to get home, though, you can at least kick up your feet and relax and enjoy yourself now. Alright, let's see. Well, I hope you're enjoying your dinner. Let's see. I don't think Tide Turner is going to help us too much. We don't have too many kicker spells for it to help us pay for. Well, we did one draft so far. We went 4-3. I hard punted one of the matches in that set. And one of them, we ended up having to mull down to 4. One of them I just straight out just couldn't beat the opponent. Well, 4-3 is still not bad. That's almost breaking even. Yeah, we end up losing. Yeah, we end up losing a little bit of our gems overall, but it's almost the break-even positive point of 5. It's just a slight negative. So, but considering, you know, we get all the rares from our draft plus the free booster pack rewards, we're netting positive still. All right. What do we trim further from this deck? I think we'll trim Vivisector. Trim the Swarm. Swarm's not bad. I'm just thinking we trim that one. Just because I don't want to trim out too many of our non-creature spells, because we have Hadi Jin. But sadly, we didn't get a whole lot of removal. We're relying heavily on this Urborg. Trying to think, like, what can we do here? Oh, no, it's a great card. And actually, I accidentally, that's what I hard punted. I misdid my math and lost to an opponent because I misdid the math with the kicker. And thought I was going to kill a creature and brought it down to being a 1/1. They had a 6/6 creature, and I gave it -5/5, thinking I had 6. The ability to give it -6/6. Well, I had 4 cards in my graveyard, and I thought they were all 4 spells, and one of them was a creature, was how I misdid my math. Alright, let's maybe keep the Artillery Blast in the deck. Because we have the Illusionist to help fix the mana. We do have the white-blue source. It might be greedy, but we can always potentially discard it away with the Desecrator also, make our opponent lose a life. I'm just trying to think like what all of our possibilities are with this deck here. And having the white sources extra is useful for Geyser. Yeah, Sphinx this was our pack 1 pick 1. This was our pack 2 pick 1. And our pack 3 pick 1. We ended out with 3 mono blue rares. I won't lie, these went around multiple times on the table. I decided to pick them up, thinking we might just use them. And there's 2 of them. 2 Stronghold Arenas went around, and I was thinking, it's like, okay, we could potentially play those. They're a bit dangerous to go with for our deck build. Actually, you know what? I think I can cut the Jhin. We can potentially play these arenas for the extra card draw. We have flyers. Yeah, it's kind of like playing the old shoot, I forgot what the name of it was. There's an old card that was like a creature that you hit people and you got that same looting ability on it. Well, yeah, I mean, I guess you could say it's like a Bob, Dark Confidant, but the thing is you have to actually hit the opponent for the draw trigger is the only drawback. It's what you get once when you mix Dark Confidant with Phyrexian Arena, but the trigger on draw is actually you hit your opponent instead of just draw step. I guess it would be... There's an old pirate card that makes that whenever a pirate you hit, if you manage to attack your opponent hit with a pirate, you got that loot ability, and it's just like Bob, so it's kind of like that. Yeah, there you go. It's like what happens once you mix a Thieving Magpie, so you have that attack damage trigger. But you have to lose life based off the cost of the card. There we go, Temeril. I mean, I guess you named it a thing like that. Let's see. If that's the case, we can go with this in... Put ourselves more on a creature plan, I guess. If that's the case, let's take the wall out. Kindly Interference, still decent. Yeah, you are correct. It's one of the first creatures in Magic that was printed with the hit the opponent and draw card. It was at least one of the first popular ones to be used. That was all the way back in, what, Urza's Destiny? When that card was printed? That's an old card. Yeah, good old Finkel. You are correct, Shadow Mage. But the thing is, it's Shadow Mage. Shadow Mage was just great because it was unblockable. Hit the opponent, draw a card. You didn't have to worry about. Oh, I mean, you just simply said Shadow Mage. I just happened to say the whole name. I mean, you're good enough. I think we'll take Shadow Prophecy out. Trying to figure out what else we can do with this build. Great if we had more ways to gain life. Yeah, Finkel's the nickname because he was the person who won the World Tour. You're definitely correct about that. Because they do that thing where if you win the World Tour, you get to design a card, or at least help with the design process, let them know what you want, and then they work with you on it. And that's where Shadow Mage Infiltrator came from. It also is where Solemn Simulacrum came from. And more recently, I know that's the shoot, what was the name of that creature? It was the one that allowed you to exile. It was the white creature that allowed you to exile cards in your opponent's hand. Make it cost 2 more. I don't know like the name of every card. I just remember some of them off the top of my head that they were definitely influenced by the winners. The it becomes difficult when you're in like these last couple cards to get rid of. I think we'll actually go ahead and get rid of Desecrator here. Bladder Goblin works well with the arenas. I think what we'll do is we'll only run 1 arena. Can't afford really to put 2 of these on board. I guess we'll give up Timely Interference since we don't have that heavy reliance on spells. And if that's the case, I guess we can bring out the Faithful. Because we're mostly creatures now. Actually, taking out as many spells as we have feels a little bad. The reason why it feels a little bad is just because we do have tributes. We're taking away from its kicker. I guess we can go down... Take out the Soul Tender, and I'm going to run this as a 41 card deck. I know I have a weird habit of just going 41 cards on my draft builds. I don't want to trim a land. Yeah, it's super spicy being 41. Because I not one of the things I like to do is I usually like to trim down to 16 lands. But since we're splashing 3 colors, actually no, I think we'll just do that. We'll actually trim 1 black source here, and we'll do it like that. There we go. We're at 40 cards. Most of our cards are super cheap on the mana cost, so I think we have it decently enough to be 40, a 40 card, 16 land deck. Okay, we'll keep this. Got our white sources, got a blue source. We definitely don't have a play until Phyrexian Rager, but Rager was at least a redraw. If the opponent was aggro, we did have the Tribute here, so I didn't feel bad trying to keep this. Alright. Opponent goes for a Faith Bonder. Faith Bonder, just a 1/3 with Vigilance. It's got the Enlist skill, so they can tap their untapped creatures to give it extra power. Let's go for Sea Scavenger. So we can stack the top of our deck up to 3 cards deep. Let's see. Do we take the Artillery Blast here? The opponent's only showing a Vigilant creature, but still not a bad removal spell to have. We can always take the Vivisector. It's an extra body we can put to the board. One of our creatures die, we get a Scry. I think I'm going to go Vivisector here. I think our better pick was probably the Blast. Because Urborg's only a -2/-2 at the moment. And if we do play both of these spells, it goes up to being a -4/-4, so I guess it's fine. Alright, opponent makes a bunch of tokens. Vivisector to the board. We'll actually attack in and see what the opponent does here. Try to see if I can get rid of the Faith Bonder with them going with a double block to kill off the Rager, and I just use Blessing to get rid of it. But that's the only thing the opponent's going for. We will still protect our Scavenger here. Only shame about this card is it's a sorcery. I'd love to be able to just play instant speed, bounce a card, get a card draw off of getting rid of one of the tokens, but... Alright, opponent's got mana of all types here. Cruelty of Yix, they see our hand probably, see no creatures. So it's a good thing we brought the Vivisector to the board. But they do have knowledge now that we have Geyser. Next turn they get to go search their deck for just a random card in general. We'll use this to get a card draw. It also makes it set where they can't double block kill a creature. We'll save our tribute to Urborg. Because, let's see, we can do up to -4. -4 is enough to answer most creatures. Opponent's down to 10 because the tutor effect does make the opponent lose 3 life. And now they can bring back any creature from their graveyard. It doesn't matter whose graveyard. So what we do is we don't attack in with anything this turn. We just sit back on the defense, so that way there's no value for that third trigger. Because no creatures are in the graveyards. Alright, opponent's going to sit back on the defense. I'm trying to think, do I just go ahead and tribute to get rid of this? Opponent's holding up all their mana. I'm surprised they didn't bother, like, equipping this. Let's tribute now. Try to get rid of the Faith Bonder. If they have the +2/+... Oh, wait, is it +2? No, it's only +1/+1 counter, right? I forget how the indestructible spell works. It's a +1/+1 counter indestructible, right? So, that was the only thing I was worried about if they had. We'll attack in with everything. Present a trade against the Cavalier here. We do get a Scry thanks to the Vivisector. I'm going to keep the shore up. Alright, glad I kept the shore up because we gotta deny them not only 4 damage, but gaining 4 life. We'll keep the Impulse. I'm actually not sure... Alright, another Cavalier for our opponent. This time they're going to equip. Alright, let's Impulse. Our best card here would be take Tribute. We'll pass it back to the opponent. We unfortunately don't have a whole lot that we can do here. Opponent's down to 5, so they have to place carefully. We'll take it. You're tapping out for some reason. Do they have the 4 mana enchantment that does 2 damage to everything? No? Well, that's a shame that we drew another land. Well, let's send the team. We will kick and make sure this stays dead. I figured the opponent had some type of combat trick. Join forces, untaps 2/2/2. So they do get rid of our Vivisector. We at least get a Scry. I mean, I'm going to keep it. It's not exactly what we're looking for. But it does mean that if we... let's see. Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery... Man, we're already halfway through our deck. And we're 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Well over halfway through our lands. Pigment to the board. Pass it to the opponent. Unfortunately, that gives them life. Alright, we have to top deck something good here. That's not bad, but not enough to really get us there. It's a good thing we held on to this land instead of putting it to the board, because if we draw another land, we can always put Rona back to the board here. Opponent's threatening us with lethal next turn. Alright, what do we get off the top? We either need a removal spell, which I think we've already used all of our removal. Because we used both tributes. We've used the bounce. Opponent's saying oops. Oh, they actually had lethal. But unfortunately, we just draw more lands. When you draw over 50% of your deck as land, as a primary draw, it's bad. So we went 18 cards deep. We drew 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So that meant there was, let's see, only 5 lands left in the deck. So yeah, we definitely flooded. It always feels bad to lose to flood. There is a reason I decided to make the little flood emote, because of how often that does happen. I mean, I look at it this way. It's either I get stuck with 2 lands and I don't draw any lands for the next couple turns, and then it's just nothing but a string of lands, or I just get all lands from the start. It's one of the reasons why I think one of my better builds is usually just I play lots of card draw. Why? I know I'm gonna flood. I might as well try to make it so I can push past those lands to actually get the other cards. Okay. This is definitely a mulligan. There's no reason to keep this. We'll keep this one. I think I'm going to put this to the bottom. Because unless I draw a black source immediately... Oh, okay. I was going to say, unless I draw a black source immediately, I'm not going to play it. And wouldn't you know it, you get the black source. Well, we have the Domain 3 set up top of the deck. Let's grab the Impulse here. Let's move to combat. See what the opponent has for a trick here. Alright. Lightning Strike. You got it. Another scavenger. Let's grab Rager. Alright, Rager to board. And we'll pass. Let's see. I'm trying to think if I block the Warbird if it comes in. I think I'll just take it. I don't think they would attack with that without having some type of combat trick. Yep. Combat trick. Alright, land for turn. Go for the Figment. Pass to the opponent. Let's offer a double, see what they have. -2, so that way we at least get the trade. There you are. After all my creatures are dead. Let's just draw 3 cards. Alright, opponent's just going to push for the damage with just the... Hey, look, I found all the support spells after all my creatures died. Alright, here we go. Illusionist to the board. We have a creature. We can support it. Okay, here's a weird thing I'm going to do. I'm going to turn this to a forest. 1, 2, 3. Shadow Prophecy. What the heck? Oh my gosh. Alright, land the board. Pass it to the opponent. Hold up the artillery blast. Yeah, no, I mean, that is very true. Go for the blast. I should have actually waited until they went for pumps, but... I'll keep that on the board. I don't want you drawing cards gaining life. Alright, let's go for splatter. Green, and we'll kick this. Probably not my best move tapping out here. Probably should just went for the illusionist, held up the blessing, but I had some good confidence that we could afford it. Do I go for the arena? This is super greedy, but I'm going to go for the arena. So, kick, kick, attack, take that action. Oh good, we got lucky, it was a land. I mean, if I'm going to draw lands now, I would prefer to draw it off the arena triggers, just that way I don't take extra damage. Alright, block with the Splatter Goblin. Attempt to give this indestructible Death Touch. Yeah, funny thing is the opponent could have used the the Colossus's sacrifice to protect it by sacrificing Monstrosity. But I could understand them maybe wanting to keep the 5/5 Trampler over the 5/4. Oh, that's right. We already used that spell. Let's see here. Let's go and attack in with the... We'll send both flyers. Play Rager. Lose some more life. There it is! Finally, we got to see the Sphinx. We had to get to the bottom 10 of our deck to finally see clear skies. Alright. We're going to send an attack in the air, but we're going to choose to decline Arena now. We don't want to get too low on life, as well as we are also so deep in the deck. Yes, life is definitely a resource in Magic. You're definitely right about that, Angel. Oh, opponent has the bite down. They're sitting on a whole lot of cards, and I'm not sure what it is. Like, they aren't doing anything. We can't afford to take the draws on these. Well, next turn we're representing lethal. I didn't want to attack in, miss lethal, bring him down to 1, and then they, like, pump, give it double strike, and we lose. Alright. Potential GGs, we send it. And there we go. Opponent's 5 colors? Wow, that's greedy. But yeah, we got there. Oh man, the fact that we can go over halfway through the deck 2 times in a row and won't see the our bombs makes me worried. Like, we have a lot of card draw, and our goal is to just try to get to the Sphinx and try to have that just win it for us. Alright, let's see. What do we got here? Let's see. I've only managed 5 color once, and it's because I had 2 Weather Seed Treaties and a lot of Warrior Loom Speaker. Actually, I did a 5 color deck a couple times in here. And while I haven't trophied with either of them, or any of them, I ended up usually getting up to 5 wins because it was a build for domain purpose, and I focused on getting the land set fixed. So I went with a lot of these slow lands, but I ended up winning them a lot because of the creature that enters the battlefield. I deal damage equal to my land types to my opponent right away. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, hey. It's a fun build. It's not the most practical, but it's fun. I'm going to keep this. It's a little dangerous, especially considering, you know, they started with an Evolved Sleeper, but we can tribute that before it spins out of control, at least. I'm going to tribute it now before they, you know, draw any cards that can interact. That would prevent that from killing it. This itself is a bit of a bomb because of the fact it does turn into a 3/3 Death Toucher. But also, the +1/+1 counters draw is hard to handle sometimes. Alright, let's get the Scavenger to the board. I'm trying to think if we want to keep these. Like, which one do we take if we keep them? If we take Geyser, we don't have the white source. to be able to use it. If we take Illusionist, we could potentially give ourselves White Source for Blast. Or we could hit Decline and say we want different card off the top. I think we keep the Illusionist. Because the turn we play Illusionist, we can still play land for the turn. And we can Impulse. Well, that's not good. Opponent's definitely coming at us fast and hard here. Alright, Illusionist to the board. I mean, I don't mind the idea of maybe if we should have gone for the Rana that turn, but oh boy. Yep. And that's going to have a death trigger to kill our 1/1. Let's go ahead and do this right now. Grab Tribute. Block the Garna. Make it so that way we take least damage possible here. I mean, I've always wanted to try to build the Rakdos deck, and the opponent, though, ended out with some really good cards. Here's my issue. If I kill Garna, we don't have a way to block Ravaz. If I kill Ravaz, we take a point of damage because of Karna. So we'll still end up having, we'll go down to 7, we'll take 6, we go down to 1, we'll lose. So I have to kill Garna. And we have to hopefully hit an untapped white source so that we can go shoulder. Oh no, I'm still dead, aren't I? No, I have to hit an untapped white source. They could just lightning strike me and finish me off here. Alright, Rager for the opponent. So untap white source. No. Well, that's a GG then. Oh, that's so bad. We were so close to being able to stabilize. But the opponent definitely got the gas here. Turn 1, turn 2, turn 3, turn 4, and then they had the recursion plan to be able to use the Splatter Goblin to punish our 1/1 play. Oh, that was rough. I honestly did not see the Atrocity play, possibly from my opponent. And if I played around that and went for Rana instead, who knows, they might have had a different removal answer, but yeah, that turn I should have gone for the Rana. Oh well. That was a hard match. They played really well and got some really good pulls. Alright, unfortunately we are already down to 2 losses. Feels bad. Feels real bad. Yeah, I mean, hey, we did this last time. We still managed to win a string, so who says we can't do it now, right? It's an awkward hand. We can Shadow Prophecy, look at top 2. Oh, no. We have to take just whatever the top 2 is going to be. Micromancer only gets us 1 spell out of our whole deck. I think this is a mulligan. Oh, we gotta start with this in our opening hand. We're keeping. It's actually not a bad hand. I think I'm gonna put Vivisector to the bottom. No, actually, I'm gonna put Impulse to the bottom. I'm gonna keep the creatures. So we go Land Illusionist. Play Vivisector. This is another issue that we've been having. Is I think most of our games we've been on the draw, and the opponent gets to aggress us quickly. All right, Vivisector to board. I'm just gonna hold back. I'm gonna sacrifice the Illusionist here in a trade against the Stalker, I think. Alright, block. We get a Scry. I will keep that. That's good. We don't get to play anything this turn, but... I know it's wrong to force decks in draft, but I really want to play Simic. It seems fun. Actually, the Simic deck wasn't bad, although I really played it as Teamer, and we actually trophied with a Teamer deck once. If anything, it's... I do understand what you're saying. It's kind of hard to force decks. We actually forced a deck one time. Wow, that's lots of arresting going on from our opponent. Alright, do you have another one for our Clear Skies here, opponent? But as I was trying to say, when we actually played and tried to force a deck, the hardest one to force is the wall deck. And if you can manage to successfully get the cards for the wall deck, oh, it's great. But if you fail to hit the cards for it, why? Why auto tapper? I screwed up. Oh, jeez. Alright, opponent's gonna put these into 2 piles. We'll take the non-land. Oh, I feel so dumb. I should have tapped manually for Micromancer to make sure we had shore up in case they did actually hit another arrest they could have used on Clear Skies here. Offer the block. Let's see what the opponent has for a combat trick. They could flash in a little 2-drop that generates a token. Was not expecting that spell. Alright, let's see here. We will use Tribute. We will kill this. 1, 2, 3. Phyrexian Rager. Lose a life, draw a card. Attack in. Let's see what the opponent gives us. Yeah, that's the thing, is it's... When you're looking at the deck, if you can find the white defender, you can try to maybe force the deck. But if you don't start off like pack 1 or pack 2 finding it, I wouldn't build the deck. It's too dangerous. Like, you don't start grabbing defenders unless you have that card, or you go for the black one that makes it so that way you can drain the opponent life. Alright, Clear Skies goes in. We have the opponent dead next turn. Let's see, what do we have here? We'll take the Geyser, because we can use Geyser here. 1, 2, 3, 4 for the kick. Get rid of a token, draw a card. Gain 3 life. And we'll go for Splatter Goblin as a chump blocker, holding up Shore Up. We got the win. Unless the opponent uses some kind of hard sweep, there's no way that they can win this. Alright, we'll send it. Okay, I mean, sure thing. We'll just do this. Good game. They gain 2 life, so they won't die immediately, but I actually did that too early. I should have waited for them to target our Sphinx. Make them pay the 2 mana, then do the untap. Because if they don't go for the Splatter Goblin, they get to keep their creature. But, oh well. Yeah, Yeah, but the defender deck can be strong, but the thing is you have to get those cards. There's no denying that. I think actually one of the easier decks to force, because I don't see a whole lot of people grabbing the cards for it, is usually red-green pump. And that deck is actually trophied for us at least twice. So I definitely think that's a solid build right there if you ever want to do that. It's actually best if you can do Teamer Pump and you manage to draft the red-blue creature. It makes it that way all your creatures get +1/+0 whenever you cast a instant or sorcery. Because that means that all your creatures that normally wouldn't have trample, that are, you know, large size and green, will now have trample. And you just crush your opponents that way. Alright, on the open, this might be greedy, but I'm going to keep this one. I'm saying it's greedy because we have Sphinx here, but we don't see a guarantee on the mana. And we start with an Artillery Blast in hand. Alright, opponent's got the turn 1 play. We'll go for a Splatter Goblin. If they do a removal spell, we can kill the Conscript. But I don't trade against it because this thing's worded that it can be brought back if one of their creatures die under their control this turn. I'd rather just not let them get that. Let's see, this is instant, so we can just attack in, pass it back, Prophecy at their end step unless we see something we need a tribute. Okay, we do need to tribute that, but unfortunately we don't have the cards for it yet. Let's take Geyser, because Geyser will allow us to... Oh wait, we take them both. I don't know what I'm thinking. So, land. Geyser, back to hand. 2 damage in. I probably shouldn't actually be trading against this conscript for life total. A bit dangerous. Get rid of the Faithful. Pass it back to the opponent. We're actually going to hold back this time. I'm just a little worried about our life total for the... Awesome. Not what I was hoping to see from our opponent. We're just too low in life. I can't afford to keep that plan going. Alright, we got the Sphinx. We have Shore Up. So I'm fine with bringing it to the board. Opponent has to pay the extra 2 for the ward. And then we can Shore Up Protect it if they end up going for any targeted removal. The only thing I'm worried about is if they have the Indestructible spell, because it gives Death Touch. Please pay that ward too. Okay, I'll Shore Up. Alright, so we get a white source. That's not enough damage to straight up kill their creature. Let's Impulse right now, actually. Take Scrutiny. Because it is a huge draw spell. See, so yeah, we only have 1, 2... Oh no, we actually have the ability to do 5 damage, because we have 4 different mana types, right? No, we only have 3. I was thinking for some reason I had a 4th color. Alright, we'll pass it back to the opponent. We unfortunately will have to try to trade against that if they'll let us. But that's painful. That's very painful. Oh man, I kind of wish to... Oh, I could have actually taken the Pixie Illusionist. If I'd taken Pixie Illusionist, I could have put it to the board, used it as a chump blocker, and then used artillery to kill it. Alright. 1, 2... trying to think, like, how much can we afford to do... How many cards do we have in our graveyard? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we do have the ability to kick an Urborg. I just have to make sure not to over tap here. 1, 2, 3, 4. X2 draw. We have to hopefully hit it. We don't. Put this to the board. Maybe the opponent doesn't attack in? Oh, jeez, yep. Well, GG, opponent. Oh. I got greedy. I looked at the draw spell. It's like, he's like, oh, that's a massive amount of draw. I'd like that. I should have played differently. That was me getting blinded by greed with Silver Scrutiny. I should have played for my backup plan. Pixie Illusionist to the board. Artillery Blast to kill the Connoisseur. Yep. Yeah, I mean... I got that rare greed that happened there. I looked at it, it's like, oh, that's a huge amount of draw value. Blinded by my greed. Unfortunately, that one ends this run at only 2 wins, but at 2 wins, we at least get the 2 packs. I can at least say that as a, you know, nice thing. It's such a shame since we managed to find ourselves such good rares here, but I couldn't find the usual blue cards to help support this. I couldn't get any of the 5/5 that's cheaper for spells. And because of that, we ended up going for the creature build with these the arena. But I mean, I can't complain too much about this. I ended up getting 2 Stronghold arenas for my collection, which because these cards cycled around so much, and there was no other card to take in the pack, so I took them. And I got a Hadi Jin for my collection as well. So, I mean, at least I walk away with lots of rare value. I unfortunately just couldn't find the non-creature spells to support. We'll start up one more. We'll see how far we get into this before we might start wrapping up for the night. Because these do take a while, so this will probably be our last draft here. Well, I mean, I did get some good uncommons I didn't have a full set of. Oh my gosh, this is the worst pack ever. Why threats undetected? Worst rare. This is the bulkiest of bulk rares. You know what? Let's see if we can just jam that defender plan. We were just talking about how hard it is to jam this deck, but I see a defender. This is one you can build off of. Let's see if we can do it. How do you pass this card up? What was in their pack? This card, if you're not familiar with, it's a lifelinker. So 3/3 lifelink. At the beginning of your end step, you may pay X. If you do, draw X cards. X can't be greater than the amount of life you gain this turn. So if you manage to be able to attack in with this, it survive the combat. You just dump all your mana into just card draw value. They also had Prayer of Binding here. And it's like, oh my gosh, this is such a fire pack here. I mean, I guess if it was a Wingmantle Chaplain, but yeah, they took. You're right. They took a common. Um, I guess we're not doing walls. I could say we do walls and grab the bulwark, but I can't not take this and try for it, right? We'll pass on the arena this time. I'm not gonna go 4 colors. If I see the wall plan still go around, we might switch. Yeah, that is the weirdest one I have seen. I don't know how that happens. I mean, I can see us potentially still splashing red sources for this Colossal growth if we can get it for this deck because of just how good it pump works with her. We'll take up the shield. Or do we take? I mean, this will cycle around. I was thinking maybe Scout the Wilderness. We're gonna search our deck for our land types, fix for our colors. It's already in white. Yeah, we're gonna take Scout the Wilderness. How's this card working again? Make both of you draw 2 cards, create bird token that's flying, then put a counter on up to 2 creatures. Most people just skip the first thing and just go with the idea it creates a 1/1 bird that can become a 2/2 bird. I'm going to take the Coast. Just a mana fix here. Strength of Coalition's not bad. It's 1 mana, give a creature +2/+2, and then you can potentially kick it, put a +1/+1 counter on each of your creatures. Works great with the fact we got Scout the Wilderness. I mean, I can understand lands getting passed. The land ones are things of, we're not sure what colors we're going to be in, so you sometimes just pass the land, go for the actual more interactive cards. Let's see, this is potentially a +3/+3 spell. I'm going to take the Root Walla, I think. Wouldn't mind getting the land here. Actually, let's just grab the land. Gonna make sure we have our fixers this time. Take Prodigy. It's your Prodigy or Gardener. But I think I'm gonna go Prodigy because of the card draw functionality. I like this 4/4 reach creature. It's actually pretty good. Illusionist works great for our deck. So I don't feel bad about grabbing Colossal Growth because we have Illusionist. Take up the shield. I mean, we started with the worst rare ever for our opening pack, and we stole one of the better rares because I don't know what was going on with the pack one pick one for our opponent. I mean, Urtai is great and all, but I don't want to splash black into an already 3-color deck. As we're already kind of splashing a 4th color in a slight sense because of the growth. I think our best pick is the Ancient here, because, you know, big 7/7, enters battlefield, gain 5 life. Can stabilize your board state really well, gives you a nice big offensive creature, plays for the late game. I still am trying to figure out what did they take that was a common over this card. Maybe just they don't feel comfortable playing 3 colors. It could just be that. We'll take the Territorial Marrow. This thing's actually amazing. It does mean that we're going to look for some of these lands that splash that other color.
Maybe remove like Arrest or Extinguish. Arrest is an uncommon, I think, isn't it? I mean, I can understand maybe Extinguish. I'm not a fan of most of these cards in this pack. I mean, this is a good card, but I think we're going to stick with mostly the mono green plan here. Okay, Arrest is a common? I couldn't remember. Yeah, Citizen's Arrest or whatever. It's not a bad card, but it is a double white. Like, I'd much rather Runic Shot. This is a lot easier to play, because 1 white mana, destroy a tapped creature, then if you kick it, you get a scry 2. It's just good for just in general use. I don't mind the idea of trying to get this Pixie if it comes back around. Other than that, we're hoping for maybe Gardener. Alright, another Pixie Illusionist. We'll take that over Scout the Wilderness. I see it. Alright, seen a little bit, Angel. We're gonna go 4 colors. We're gonna splash for this Outrider. We're gonna try to get the lands for it. Alright, we'll grab another Illusionist. Gonna take all the Illusionists. If we're grabbing this many Illusionists, could we combat research? Let's see, I don't really care for this. This is going to be the card we're going to grab. I don't know if we'll use it, though. We'll put it off to the side. Protector would be the card to grab. Not a fan of any of these. We'll grab this. Speed Momentum's not bad. Nothing amazing. We'll grab this. We could potentially run this because it does fix our mana, but I don't think we need it. Temporal Firestorm is a really good card, but not for our deck. Oh, geez, Wizard! Hello! Welcome to the stream and all raiders. Hope you had a nice stream. What were you up to? Why is my sound alert not going off? I mean, things are going well. We're just doing some drafting. Unfortunately, didn't have the best record in our last draft. Did some drafting. One went well, the other 2 did not. Yeah, so far our standings are 4-3 and 2-3. I hoping this one turns out. Oh, Tatyova, that's a bomb. I was just about to say. Hopefully, I can find some cards to finish rounding out this deck idea. Going on vacation for a few days after tomorrow. Well, I hope you enjoy your vacation. Going somewhere in particular, or just gonna kick back and relax? Oh, another coast. We'll take that. Or actually, is the coast better than taking the red-blue land? Yeah, it is better because we're mostly green anyways. Going to your sister's cabin up north. Oh, okay. Well, hopefully you enjoy your time. Joint Exploration might actually be the best card out of this pack for us. Because since we found Tatyova, the ramp plan actually becomes a lot stronger. And we actually do have cards to ramp into. So we'll take that. A Lugorf. I mean, this is just a bomb if you have lots of creatures in general. You don't actually have to be a self-mill plan. I'm going to take it for now. We'll get to check and see how well it works for our deck once we get to the cutting floor. Now, this might seem weird, but I'm going to grab a Haunted Mire here over the other cards. Hate to raid and run, but gonna do some packing and whatnot. Well, hey, great. I'm very grateful for the raid. Glad you showed up to chat here for a little bit. Enjoy your trip and enjoy your lurk. All right. Let's see. What do we do here with this set? Not much that we can really do here. I mean, I guess that's our best card, but I didn't really like it. Gonna grab a Crystal Grotto. It gives us a little bit of scry action and potential mana fix for our greedy mana base. Grab up the red-white source here. Grab another Illusionist. Monstrosity. That could work with our deck. Not sure if we'll use it or not, but we could potentially make use of it. Don't really care for any of these. That's good. Alright, so when we get to the cutting floor, we have a lot of things to consider. Alright. So, let's see. Right, let's take a look at what we have and how we should probably build around what we have. I like the idea of keeping the Mossbeard Ancient just because it's such a powerhouse if we get to the board and we have a ramp plan thanks to getting Tatyova and all these Scout the Wildernesses. These specifically only search for basic land cards. And we want the different land types for Territory Marrow, so that's why I'm going to keep both of these in the deck. I think we're better off not using the Monstrosity. And we have every land type in the deck, so Marrow and Outrider both gain advantage from that. I think Survey... I'm not sure if this is a card we need to run. It might be a little too slow, so I think we'll cut that one. Now, Survey actually would be amazing, like, to cast if we have Tatyova, because it allows us to get 2 lands, we put them onto the board, then we can animate 2 lands. But I think it's just a little too greedy. Trying to think if we want to actually keep, or maybe cut some of these pump spell options. Strengthen the Coalition actually works really well for us because we actually generate a fair number of tokens, the lands we animate. So we'll keep this one for the deck. Find cheaper prodigies are fine. Lugorf. How many creatures are we running? 15. At the moment. I think the Lugorf is fine. I think I'm actually going to take out... Maybe we take out the Protector? I mean, it can get bursts of damage thanks to Scout the Wilderness, so I think it's fine in the deck. But it's a matter of which cards do we start cutting. I think we'll actually start off cutting Figment. I want the Illusionists because they help fix our mana. It also makes it easier for us to make sure that we have the mana for these in our land base. Maybe we only need 3 Pixie Illusionists. We don't need all 4. Alright, I'm not sure about the last card, but I think we'll leave it at the 17 lands in this deck. Because we need lands to search for the wilderness. And we do actually have a use for all the extra mana, not only because of these expensive spells, but we have kicker cards. So I think we're good. We'll just run it as a 41. Because we have some card draw options in the deck and we do thin with land searching. So I don't want to run through my deck too quickly, potentially. So being 1 card heavy and calling it a land, I think that's what we're going to do. I always have a habit of just saying we're running 16 lands and trim it down that way because of how often I flood. But I think we're good to go 17 on this one. Alright, let's see what we got going on here. So game 1, we get a pretty decent key. An Illusionist that we can't play turn 1 because our land's tapped, but we have the mana fixing right away, so definitely gonna keep it. Finding ourselves a ramp, that's nice. Go for the Illusionist. While we can't Runic Shot right away because it is a sorcery, we do have the opportunity to Runic Shot, get rid of Herbalist. No blocks. Let's scry with the Grotto. We have a blue-green source on top. Let's go Runic Shot. No kick, because we already scryed. Wasn't sure if the opponent would actually protect it or not, so that's why I played it the way I did. Go for just a 2/2 Prodigy, no kick. And we'll attack with the Illusionist. Okay, so they're going to kick that, so that way they can counter it. They get a 1/1. I meant it was actually a really good thing we didn't kick for the destroy on their 2/1, because we would have been counterspelled. The opponent's still holding up 2 mana. If they got the counterspell, I'm going to force them to use it, but I'm going to go for a kicker here. Alright. Poke in for 1. Opponent's got a lot of counterspell magic. Alright, they're setting up the top of their deck. This is still dangerous just because it gets +2/+1 to any creature. They do happen to find a legendary. It does give them trample haste. How rude. Oh well. Go for this. Kick. Get ourselves a red source. Opponent's turn. No blocks. Let's impede that's momentum. Put that on the bottom. Land for turn. Pass it back. This way, if they go for the equip here, we can strengthen coalition with a kick. Alright, they go for Geyser. Spins it out of nowhere. I just don't see the reason to keep this now. The Flood, it's real. I'm going to hold him just because we do have Tatyova in our deck. This way, if we bring Tatyova, we can start animating our lands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, because this is land number 8. Alright, let's go ahead and bring down the Ancient. And it'll be the opponent's turn. Opponent has a lot of Sea Scavengers. I think they're a good card. Because even with this, it's effectively a Scry 2. We'll hold the land. Four Sea Scavengers for our opponent. Would love to draw Tatyova right now just because it would give us the most bodies to the board. Alright, we'll play that for our land for turn. Pass it back. Oh, let's see. That's 3, 6, 9, 14 even. Yep, good game, opponent. Oh my gosh, we just flooded super hard here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This is one of the reasons why I say I like doing 16 lands. Because I just flood. Oh my gosh. Alright. Well, next game. Alright, we start with the Tatyova, which is great. Urborg, Lugorf isn't bad, but we don't have a way to kick it to immediately fill our grave. I still think it's a keep. Oh, that's not good. Let's see here. Put this to the board. We'll take the 2 here. The reason why I think the 2 damage being taken is fine because we do have pump spells. And I don't want to just trade off without a good reason. At this point now we can fine with taking the block. Play a game of chicken with the opponent. Because we can use Gaia's Might here, go +2/+2. If they try to like use a destroy spell, we can go take up the shield and protect it. Alright, they're not willing to take the risk because they want to go for Rana. And now we have the other issue that we sometimes come across is we are running a fair bit of lands and we don't draw them. Offer the block. Go for a green source. Go for +2/+2. Okay, so that allows them to keep that. Unfortunately, I'll have to go for this if I want to get rid of their creature. Alright, that looks like that was their only spell. That was their only instant speed spell interaction from what it looked like. Okay, cool. We hit a land. We don't have any creatures in the graveyard for the Lugorf. Is it worth kicking it? I'm worried that I'm just going to end up just wheeling a whole bunch of... I was going to say lands to the graveyard. So I decided to go for the momentum so that way we can try to set up a land on top. If we can hit ourselves another green source, would be great. One, because of being able to get the mana for Tatyova. Two, it gives us another source for the Outrider since this doesn't count. Alright, opponent brings out the Knight. Alright, we do actually hit the land source, which is nice. So we go for the Outrider. I'm offering them the trade against your Sky Knight. I don't think they'll take this. Because this is too valuable for them to give up. Because whenever they cast an instant or sorcery, they get 1/1 white soldier creature tokens. And they know now that we have a 4/4 creature with reach. So they may take the trade. But yeah, I didn't think so. The Jin. Alright. So this is going to be land number 6. That's not enough to activate Tatyova. So what we do is we go for the combat first. Attack in. See how the opponent reacts here. Opponent's going for the blocks. We're going to get a punish on them with this Colossal Growth. And opponent's down to 3. So we don't have any more Outriders in our deck. But we do have the ability to kick a Lugorf. I think it'll probably be better just to go for Tatyova to the board. It's going to hurt. Because we're on pain lands. But we have such an advantage that I'm fine with taking the 2 damage to put this to the board. Because the opponent's now going to have to get at least 2 removal spells or 2 bodies to put to the board. They can pay the discard, put this on the board. That's actually, 1 removal spell actually works for them because as long as it's a instant or sorcery, they'll get the 1/1 body. Maybe it was a little premeditative to still bring out the Steward of Tides. Maybe we should have gone for the kick on Lugorf. Just hope that we had, like, you know, milled-only creatures. Because if we'd gone for Tatyova next turn and we'd drawn a land, we would have been able to get the guaranteed landfall trigger. Because when it enters the battlefield, we don't have any extra ETB triggers that happen when it touches the board. So we can put the land on the board, then they can respond to the trigger from Tatyova. So we'd still be able to get the 3/3 body. And then if they did actually have the removal spell, and we had Lugorf on board, we know that we'd at least have 1 power from Tatyova. And if we did mill, say, 2, if we managed to get lucky enough to mill 2 creatures off the thing, yeah, see, there's Extinguish the Light. Alright, put this to the board. Go for the combat. Swing in. No fear, we go in. Opponent's thinking over their options on how they block. Because when they block here, if they don't have any like interactions, they can choose to just like use the 1/1, block our 4/4, take 3. Still rely on Sky Knight to defend them from our Protector. Or they can, you know, offer the Sky Knight as a trade against their Prodigy here. They're deep into the tank thinking this one out. To be honest, though, I did make another mistake. I shouldn't have played Protector before I attacked. Because they had a Counterspell magic. They could have played it, even if it's a failed Counterspell. Because of being able to pay, like, extra costs or something. We'd still give them that 1/1 to the board. So they had an easy chump block situation. Alright, so the opponent gets to scry 1. They like the card. We don't like them liking the card. Well, we're just going to have to pass. I'm deciding not to play the Lugorf because if we don't draw a creature for the purpose of the Protector, I want to be able to play the Lugorf to give it the +1/+1 so that we can actually attack into the Sky Knight. It allows us to threaten that lethal in the air. Now, the opponent likes the card on top, so it has to do something for our opponent here. So far, we've seen Timely Interference, Rana, Dijin, and Extinguish. So we did hit that land, which is what I was a little worried about. We'll actually go ahead and give this a single kick. Actually, yeah, just a single kick here. We don't have the black anyways, but... Alright, that was a good mill for us. Because we got to push a bunch of lands out of the way. Bad for the Lugor's growth here, but... it's good for the fact that we aren't going to draw these lands. I was worried that we'd hit, like, some of our support spells. But we've already used Might, we've already used Take Up, and we've already used Growth. So we've actually used most of our support spells. Opponent giving us that rope. And alright. Opponent decided that they were just gonna rope us out. Gave us that nice salty rope there. It happened to my notifications, so oh well. Well, I get another commander since I already have 4 of them. That's why I have the gems here. As hooray for the daily rewards! Alright, on to the next game. If you ever have any questions, don't feel free to ask. I will do my best to always answer. Yeah, I'm just gonna turn up the light in here. It's getting a little dark. There we go. Alrighty. Yeah, I kind of like how much ramp we're looking at here, so we'll try keeping it. Let's just lead with the islands. Go for this. Pass it back to the opponent. I'm actually going to hold on to the joint exploration, I think. Weather Sea Treaty for our opponent. So that lets them search for any land. They get a 1/1 token, and then they get to give target creature +X equal to their domain value. Alright, let's go ahead and scout the wilderness. Get ourselves a dedicated green source, so that way we don't have to burn ourselves with the coast now. Somehow I keep drawing both the coasts in the opening hands. Go for the lands. We'll go ahead and kick the exploration. Go for this first. Put this to the board. And we'll pass it back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we already actually have enough mana to be able to play this Ancient. And, you know, a nice 7/7 body's great. The only thing I'm worried about is the fact they have this Gardener, because they're in green. They more than likely have that spell that says your creature deals damage equal to its power to another creature. And since it has Death Touch, it would just instantly kill our creature. So, let's see here. Let's tap this for a colorless. Tap that for a colorless. Scout the wilderness. Go for another green source. And we will impede the momentum. Put that on the bottom. So, let's see here. Alright, opponent's got the Primeval Warden, which means that if any of our creatures die, it goes into exile. And then they get the 1/1 Saproling. So, no point in really blocking that Saproling. Let's see here. Let's actually go ahead and kick for another one of these. Wait. I need to tap this for white. There we go. I guess we'll grab a blue source. Could have actually made sure to keep one more green source untapped, I guess, but let's see how this works out. Opponent's only going to chip in for 1, so we're just only going to take the 1. Okay. Let's go for Mossbeard Ancient. Gain ourselves a bit of life. Trying to think, do I... I'm going to keep Runic Shot. I was thinking, like, do I fire out the Runic Shot right away? Decided not to, because I could use it to kill the 4/6 here. And if they attack with this here, if they find a way to protect it, I want to be able to make sure that dies. Yeah, see, there's the bite down. I did think they had it. Okay, so we'll go for the block to try to kill the creature. We're going to go for the might. Give our creature +4, because all we're missing is black. Start off with a kick here. In fact, I forgot that I should manually tap the red because we don't have anything off that. This is actually going to be harder to pick here. I think we want Shauna. Tapyova is a good card, but I think Shauna's the one we need. Before that, let's Runic Shot here. Get a Scry. That on the bottom, keep the Prodigy. Pass it to the opponent. We're still holding up Pump Mana just in case they attack with the Primeval Warden. Because we need to make sure that no longer stays on board. If it ever attacks. Now, it does have the ability like sacrifice their Saprolings to give the Warden +2/+2, and they can sacrifice 2 saps to draw. Just block there, preserve our life total a little bit. It downgrades a sap. Back down to 1/1. Just worried that they have like another bite down for this Shauna, but we're gonna have to play into it. Pass it to the opponent. If the opponent doesn't kill Shauna, I'm trying to think like what are we able to do here? Because we can't really attack in and get card draw. Oh, they're coming in with everything. They're going to try to end it from how it means then. Block. Block. Double. And block. Let's see what the opponent does. Okay. Anything else, opponent? We'll kick this. Go for our giant pump ourselves. We stay on top of their sap here. I didn't do it to the Primeval Warden for the block because they could have done that exact same pump idea and then still sacked the saps to pump it further. The fact that they're sacking the draw actually is okay for us a little bit. Alright, we'll kick this first. Outrider's not bad. I have to try to get aggressive at some point on this board. Do I go for the draw 3 or do I go for Outrider board? I'm going to go for the draw 3. Okay. It gives us lots of bodies to play with now. Block a sap. They can use that for +2/+2 here, so I'm trying... We're at 17 life. I feel like we have enough life. We're fine. So they go down in damage because they decided to go for the card draw. I would love if we could find ourselves another... Ooh, repossession. Right, we found Take Up Shield. That's actually exactly what I was thinking. It's like, I would love it if we could find Take Up Shield. Because it gives us some life gain back. Alright, they're going to block there. Protects them, but the important thing is we gain life, which triggers actually the Shauna's function. Trying to think, how much mana can we use and then still hold up? Because we're going to draw 3 again. Take action. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Alright. Opponent looks like they're going to try to send another attack. Block here. Did opponent just, like, give up on this game? Why'd they... Oh, they're going to drag. X is 4. So, X plus 1 means it's going to go for 5. Because you have 4 different types. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I can't protect my cards because I'm too far tapped out. Yep. Resolve. It's a shame we lose those cards. They are some of our better creatures to the board, but we have the flying plan. Wow, they had enough mana to play that also in the same turn. Impressive. Alright. First things first, we're going to impede that momentum. Oh, yes! We hit our biggest bomb for next turn. Alright, let's go ahead and actually kick this to the board also. Decide to go for the quality of the creature instead of the quantity. Because that way we can potentially close this in the air quickly. Okay. Yeah, I think our opponent made some misplays. They had the advantage with this on the board, but they ended up just turning it all into just a card draw engine that didn't really work out well for them. Alright, there's Tail Swipe. Getting the opponent some value against us. We'll go for the Marrow. We will kick another Illusionist. Just double checking how it's tapping my mana. Okay, yeah, I'm fine with it tapping it that way. Blue, colorless, and use the white. We get an attack in the air, and it'll be the opponent's turn. So we have Take Up a Shield, be able to give our creature protection. So I'm not worried about... You sacrifice the lands to get life, right? Okay. It is 3 life at a time, and every single land in their graveyard is extra power for their creature. You know what? We're going to send it. We're going to send it all. Because Take Up a Shield allows us to get such a ridiculous amount of life back. Let's see. I don't think they have any interaction here, so let's go for the ridiculous amount of life. And let's go for a kick here. Probably should have brought Sentry to the board so that we could have a 5/5 Sentry, though, but... I don't think I have to be afraid of the opponent killing us, because we're back to 23. Is there anything that the opponent can do to upset this board state that I can't think of? I mean, they already used drag to the bottom, so I don't think they have a second drag. And even if they drag, it kills everything but our Marrow, their Sojourner, and their Ancient. But it does mean that we can attack in, they're forced to block with the Sojourner. I'm surprised they gave up the Frog, in all honesty. I understand that it didn't have the immediate power. But it's the thing that will give them life gain to try to survive the Pixies in the air. Okay, so they get both of those back, because this only gives back permanent cards. So they couldn't get back, like, the, you know, actual responses. And yeah, they give us the GGs, because Pixies are lethal in the air. Alright, we fight our way through that one. I'll be honest, I was a little worried. Actually, I was a lot worried early on if we'd be able to get there. But our opponent definitely biffed their advantage. Okay, so off the bat, we are missing mana sources for these, but we have Illusionist, so I'll keep it. Being 3 mana means that we should be able to hit just mana of any color, be able to play these, but we have a higher, you know, concentration of green, so it should be hard to play these cards. Outrider, that's the one I'm a little worried about. Alright. Pixie to the board. I'm actually not going to attack him for the 1. I'm worried that our opponent has, like, destroy tapped creature or deal damage to tapped creature. But I don't mind tapping it now, so that way we can get ourselves a definite green source for our play. Ooh, Logmos. Logmos is actually a really strong card. So every turn it's going to generate those 2/1 trampling haste creatures. Let's go for Marrow. Marrow allows us to be able to attack in with an 8/8 next turn, because we can use Illusionist on a land. Are you going to give us cards? Nah, I didn't think so. It does give him a jump blocker. Yes, I'll still block that. Alright, let's go ahead and go Red Source. Play ourselves an Outrider. Get ourselves a 4 damage hit to the face. They took the Marrow. That surprised me. They took 8 to the face. Okay. Not worried about that. I mean, it does give them a bunch of chump blockers against us. Sure, I'll block that bird. Alright, let's see. Go ahead and put this to the board. Passively grows Marrow. We'll send both of these. I'm fine with trading Outrider to get rid of a 3/1 and a 1/1. It denies them more chump blockers against the Marrow here. We'll kick this, get ourselves another flyer. I didn't attack him with the Illusionist in case the opponent decides not to... in case they had like some type of interaction against Marrow, I might be able to animate, or not animate, but transform the land to give us the advantage we need. Unfortunately, because I forgot to attack him with the Pixie, I do make it so we can't get the lethal strike this turn. You know what? I think we'll take these blocks, just to be safe. And that's a case of good game there. Because we just kicked this, it has trample. They only have 1 white or black mana. There's nothing they can do to stop this from killing them. And there we go. So our splash of red definitely worked out there. And definitely, this is one of those things. Yeah, if you go for a Territory Marrow, you're going to want a Colossal Growth, because you'll just get lethal against your opponent. Because as you saw, we managed to get this thing up to being an 8/8. And because we were able to, you know, kick a growth at it, and not only made it a 12/12, but we gave it, importantly, trample. So definitely always want to think about that when you're making your decks from a draft. We have all the land types that are important to our deck in our opening hand, so we'll keep this. Okay, so land 1, go Illusionist. Land 2 will be Sacred Peaks, because I don't think they'll worry about killing the Illusionist right away. Alright, play the tap land, attack in, opponent's turn. Weatherseed Treaty for our opponent. This card's actually getting a lot more popular in the drafts, and I do think it's a great card. I mean, if you're going to be more than 2 colors, Weatherseed Treaty is actually really amazing. And our opponent is in 4 colors. That domain skill is gonna hit hard. Alright. We at least have the flying advantage against the opponent at the moment. Okay, we're gonna have to keep that tap down. Alright, so impede that's momentum. Try to find non-land cards at this point. Oh, that's right. It still triggers, because it's whenever it becomes tapped. But I'd rather make sure, you know, can't attack in and cause more of those counters to happen. If this was an instant speed spell, I'd wait until after they made that target, because whenever this becomes tapped, it gets +1/+1 for each creature you control that has toughness less than the number of basic lands. Oh, I guess, yeah. Because if they targeted that for the pump, then it wouldn't get the bonus. They more than likely would have also targeted this, so that's dangerous. Alright, deck, give us something good. Tatyova is something good. Unfortunately, we don't get the Tatyova land animation yet. Next turn is when we will. But we have Take Up the Shield to protect Tatyova. Yeah, no, I don't want you biting down on it. I kind of like my Tatyova. Oh, they play Tatyova. And they ramp, so if they go land, they actually get to animate first. Let's see, what's the best card we can draw right now? I think our best card is the land, the spell that allows us to kick. Search our deck for a land. Because we could play that. But nope, we'll just draw more land. Let's animate a Plains to send at them. Alright, they decided to take the 3, which is interesting. They'll have the Scion next turn. That's very dangerous, because the moment this becomes tapped again, like it untaps taps, it's going to animate all these lands and turn them into 4/4 attackers. And they hit the Ancients. Oh no! Oh no, oh no! Things have suddenly just turned poorly in our favor, and we hit more land. I mean, with Tatyova, that's not the worst thing in the world, but at the moment, it kinda is. Let's see, so we can send 6 damage in the air. We can block. So, if we survive their combat, we have lethal against them in the air if they don't block these. Alright, goal is survive combat. Current objective, survive. Alright, opponent hits another land, so they animate another one. They attack, that's going to be 4... We're going to be blocking the flying creatures? No, we block Rootwalla. We block Scion. And we block one of the lands. Right? That's just how that works. So we'll end up taking 8 points of trample here. Okay, well, we're not getting attacked for as much as I originally thought. No, 7 points of trample. This doesn't get a counter because of how this card works. So they only attack with those. But only attacking with those means... How much damage are they actually sending? We can take it. So no blocks. Pump spell off the top. Save us. Impede momentum. That's not what we were looking for. Or is it? Let's see. So if we impede momentum, we tap down a land. We play a land. We get to send 1, 3, 6. We get only 9 damage through. If it wasn't for double Moss Spear, gaining them so much life. What's our top card? Shauna. Well, Shauna wouldn't have helped us anyways. Oh, well. We don't have the abilities to survive their attack. Like, if I decided to go with the tap down a Mossbeard Ancient, we don't have enough blockers. So this is just the advantage of the opponent getting their ramp spell, that being that one land ahead of us for Tatyoha, while we didn't hit any of our... We have 4 different ramp spells, I think, in our deck? No, three ramp spells. So we missed all 3 of our ramp spells. But, yeah. Opponent's just going to style on us for the most damage they can, but we'll let them have it. Came up 2 points short because they gained 10 life. Feels bad. We were so close. Alright. We'll just jump into the next game. Try to see about if we can pull off a few more wins. Unfortunately, I'm not feeling super confident with this deck anymore, just because we've had the problems where we either flood and do nothing, or we just get some land fighting issues. Actually, I think it's just mainly just we flood and do nothing. Okay, actually, I'm going to keep this. Because we have the Illusionist to help us fix our mana. Grotto helps us try to find another land. We can Wilderness Ramp. Okay. We hit the Grotto. That's to the bottom. Okay, so what's the plan here? Plan is we turn this into a green source. Play this, search. Get ourselves said green source. It'll be the opponent's turn. They're going to impulse. So next turn we can bring down Protector. I'm not too worried about an Eerie Soul Tender. So we'll just play the Protector and we'll poke in the air. Soul Tender does hurt. It hits for 3 damage. But we don't want them getting back the terror from their graveyard, so we don't want to give them the ability to spend the 5 mana to be able to return any creature from their graveyard. Okay, I take it back. We're worried. Let's actually kick this. Get ourselves that red source. Push for damage in the air. So we can jump block Warleech. Then we can Runic Shot Warleech. Alright, they're gonna Tribute. We'll kick, get rid of this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But keep Vine Shaper, it can help us hit land for Tatyoha. Actually, let's leave both of these up top. I got a better idea. We'll kick the Goyf. Puts both of them in the graveyard, gives us a nice sized body here. Didn't really want to, you know, mill the 4/4 reach creature, but oh well. Alright, they geyser that back, that's fine. The lands? No. That's fine. We'll just play this for 2. Go to combat. Swing it in. And it'll be the opponent's turn. Our opponent gets a terror. We can use impede momentum on that. We can also use strength of the coalition. Oop. This is a Tatioba turn. Make this green. Put that to the board. Board 2. Animate the island. Are we sure we don't want to do this? Yes. Resolve. Autopay. We'll keep the land. Land's actually good now that we have Tatioba to the board. Then both of these. And next turn we should have lethal. Like, if they... Still representing lethal. Probably should have put this on the bottom in case they had the answer, but... Alright, land to board. Combat. Attack in. Opponent doesn't seem to have any responses, so let's attempt... And good game. There we go. Alright, that brings us up to what, 4 wins? Yeah, that's win number 4. Let's push for 5. 5 is where we net positive on our gems. Alright, a little slow. No, actually, it's not really that slow, but we'll keep it. I mean, it's still slow on the plays here, but... I was thinking it's like we had tap lands, but I forgot we actually have coasts in the deck. So it's a little painful for us. Oh no, the opponent's got the Deny of Life game. That actually is a problem for us, because we have the white-blue-green creature that's draw triggers based off of gaining life. Oh, that's rude, opponent. Pilfering my hand. Let's see, are you going to take my Scout to the Wilderness? Are you going to take my Sentry? You may take the Griffin. I'm not sure what you take. We're already representing the mana to be able to play any of these cards. So they may take the Protector just to, you know, deny the flying. But they also might take the 4/4 just because it's a, you know, it's a 4/4 body. I'm gonna bet they take the Flyer. Oh, no, they take the Reach creature. That's a little surprising. Alright, we'll actually play the green source, that way I don't have to hurt myself to do this. And... I think, do I grab the red source? No. I mean, the other thing would be grab more white. Grab a green. While Coast is great for the fact it does give us blue or green off of it, it is still painful, and we're at the disadvantage on the board state at the moment. Okay, so play the blue source. Tap like so. I don't want them leaving Coast untapped for me for my 1 green mana. Now, if they have the fight spell, we can use Might Protect for from that. We don't actually have any way to stop the menace creature. I'm gonna push extra damage. But they leave 3 mana up for some reason. Alright, I'm actually think that's a terrible creature in all honesty, because it's 2 mana, 3/2, you have to lose 2 life to use. And we are flooding. Alright, well, we'll go land to the board and pass. We stay up on the defense here. Still holding back Sentry. They know we have pump spells, so I guess they're just not wanting to trade these to get rid of the pump spells. Right. I mean, let's go ahead and just do the kicker. Give ourselves a counter. I mean, so we don't have to worry about like a cut down ever. Also means that we're going to be 3/4 body, easier to block other cards. I kind of want to save that just in case we did get like one of our token generating spells, but the cost is still an extra 3 mana, making it 4 mana spell. One, two, three, four, five, six. I'm still going to bring out the land. This way, if we do hit our 7-drop, that gives us 5 life on ETB. Well, we won't gain the 5 life, but we'll at least get the 7/7 to the board. Why have we drawn so many lands? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We've gotten through 9 lands within the top 13 cards. Yep. That's going to seal it for us because we don't have a way to gain life while this Dark Shadows is on the board. So we're down to 2 life. Nothing off the top of the deck saves us, and we... Really? We only got 4 cards we were allowed to play with. Oh, good game, opponent. Sometimes you just get forced to loss. Not, I mean, it's nothing we can do about that one. I think we kept the 3-lander, right? No. Yeah, we kept the 3-lander. So every draw was a land. Wow. That's so painful. The worst part is we actually searched a land out of the deck with one of our cards. So that meant that we actually decreased the odds of drawing a land as we were going. Oh boy. It's such a shame that this didn't work out. This is such a strong card, and we didn't really get to see it in many of the draws. We did actually get to see Tatyovo do work, and still one of the stronger uncommons you can build around. This is actually my first time getting a Territory Marrow, believe it or not. And seeing this thing's strength was amazing. Now, I've had it played against me, and I always thought this card was a potential beast. But I wasn't sure how well the domain effect was actually going to work for it. It's actually not that bad in draft. And like I mentioned before during the draft, if you combine it with Colossal Growth, this will cause you to win a game just out of nowhere. Alright, well, that does it for that, unfortunately. At least we got 4 wins, which means, considering the cost is 1,500, we only lost 100 gems. We get ourselves 3 booster packs, and we also got everything else that we, drafted, so overall, quite the net game. Alright. I guess we can open up some packs to wrap up the stream here, just because we can see, like, what we got for our rewards. Alright. Now, I'm actually trying to think, like, is it worthwhile to actually try to use Scout the Wilderness in a deck for Standard? Because if you go for the white-green token deck, it does want some ramp, and being able to kick this to get yourself the soldier tokens doesn't seem bad. I can't complain about getting Carpulsan Forests. Like, mana fixers in general are amazing to get. Oh, I got another Jin. That's Jin number 2 for me. So I can actually, like, almost make the mono blue deck, which is actually probably one of the most budget-friendly things that you'll ever try to build if you go for the mono blue counterspell control build. As it only requires a total of 4, 5, 6... a total of 6 rare crafts for the cheapest budget build that I can think of. Where 4 copies are just the Jin, and the other 2 are... I'm sorry, I take it back. You'll want 10 rares in total. 4 of them are Hadijin, 4 of them are the Swirling Mists, which allows you to cause a creature to phase out up to X targets. And the other 2 copies are the land that allow you to bounce a creature. Or actually, I should say non-land permanent. So, overall, great card. Guardian of the Blood Fist of Keld, though, I think that this is a card that I'm going to try to build a deck around, but I'm not sure the right way to do it yet. I'm still working on that. Alright, next pack. Alright, another copy of Jorah. I think Jorah makes for some interesting deck ideas. The problem is you have to have Jorah survive. Defiler of Vigor. This is a monster. Need more copies. Shadowrite Priest. It's okay. It's actually a pretty mid card out of all of the lords. Ah, yes, a Sarah Paragon. That's copy number 3 for me. And this missionary is actually pretty good. Don't underestimate the value of a 2/3 lifelinker that you can later on potentially kick for a draw to have reanimation. Fits your aggro-ish tempo, but also gives you life gain, and it also gives you potential reanimation, which that's really good. Raven Man for all those discard-loving people. But I'm honestly... I don't think it's that great of a card. The birds can't block is the reason why I don't think it's that great. Now, I don't think it's bad. But I don't think this was... I remember some people getting hyped about this once when it was being spoiled. I just think it's an okay card. But because the bird tokens can't block is why I think it's only okay. The Phasing the Zalfir. Now, this is a card that I'm trying to figure out if this is actually good or not. I haven't seen anyone really build something in the standard format with it yet, but the fact that you can phase out targets is not bad. And then you have a Destroy All Creatures build on it. which makes it so that way you can... But you do replace all the creatures destroyed with 2/2 black Phyrexian creature tokens. I'm trying to figure out if there's a way to make that actually work. I haven't come up with the right way yet, but I do actually think that if you actually go for a Brawl Deck build in Sultai color, I mean, not Sultai, Esper colors, you could potentially use the phasing as Alpha with that, and when you actually have Radodrobic and all your creatures die, you'll lose the Radodrobic, but all your other legendaries you'll get the copy of that legendary onto the board, and then you'll get all these Phyrexian tokens also onto the board. So it could be interesting. I don't think it's going to be a competitive build, but I think it'd be an interesting build. Yapman Coast, not a bad card. That's actually my 4th copy, I think, right there. This actually, I think, is a really solid blue card. I don't think it's broken or anything. It's a mana war. 3 mana, enter the battlefield, return a non-land permanent to owner's hand. So it's a little better than mana war because it's, you know, more than just creatures that you can target. But what's also good about this is there's nothing that you want to bounce on the board, you can, you know, get a flying token, or you can just straight draw a card. Most of the time, I think people just take the draw, but I think it's a solid card. Right. Threats Undetected. That's my 4th copy. Glad I won't be seeing any more copies of it. And let's see what we got from the new Campaign reward. Yaxis the Troublemaker, which I actually do have a deck that I'm planning on trying to show off on Tuesday that does make use of Jaxis. I don't need the extra copy here, but I mean, I guess it doesn't hurt to get more copies. Well, let's see. I hope everyone enjoyed themselves. Just that way people know, I am working on a Brawl Deck for tomorrow. And according to our Discord, there was a request for me to make a red-blue dragon style deck. And they decided to give me the option of making it between... try to find the names of the cards. The new Baldur's Gate card. It's actually easier if I can just do this for everyone to be able to see it. So, let's see. Where's the Historic Brawl tag? Historic Brawl. Dragon, red, and blue. So, our options that they said that I should try to build between is either a Niv Mizzet Power deck or a Lozon Dragon's Legacy deck. Now, if you want to weigh in and give me your idea on which deck you'd like to see for us to play tomorrow, either leave a comment right now, or go ahead and hit us up in our Discord. Leave a comment under the Historic Brawl Decks section of the chat. Let me know your opinion. I'm currently working on 2 different builds. I know I don't have all the cards for the Dragon's Legacy build yet, so I might have to craft some. But we do have a couple craft cards lying around, so we might be able to still build it. The Niv Mizzet deck is just going to be a Spellslinger deck, so I'm not sure if that one's going to be as exciting for you. It's basically, do you want to see Spellslinging action, or do you want to see red-blue dragons? Those are the deck ideas here, and we'll see what everyone thinks about it come tomorrow. We'll do a little deck testing before the event happens. If you're not sure when the event happens, it'll be starting at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We'll get on at about 4 o'clock and go over some quick tests and what the deck ideas are that we have. So hopefully I'll see you tomorrow, and you're able to check them out. If you're not able to show up for the deck testing, like I said, try to hit up our Discord, leave a comment on what you'd like. If you need a link for the Discord, there is one in the About section of the stream here. So you just have to scroll down a little bit and be able to see it. If you haven't seen our YouTube yet, would greatly appreciate if you could check it out. We have ourselves a bunch of new decks always being uploaded, and we do also upload some of our drafting content. We upload some of our, deck creations. Most of the time I focus on standard, but I did actually post the last Brawl tournament we participated in, and the deck actually did amazing, and I definitely think you should check it out. It was a winning deck, so we are currently going to be the defending champion for this tournament. So hopefully we can make ourselves a, another competitive deck idea. I don't remember seeing there was any restrictions on the commander for this tournament, so I'm going to double check it, make sure I didn't make a mistake. Oh, wait, no! Apparently Krabs just announced at 6 o'clock today that the event has been canceled. Oh, well, we'll still, work about building the deck ideas tomorrow, and we'll try to see which ones we want to actually participate in the tournament with. I know, I'm sorry I got everyone all excited that we're going to be doing a tournament, but apparently it just got canceled today. Well, in which case, hopefully we'll still see you tomorrow. Tuesday we'll be back with some more standard decks, and I have a artisan brew, which means that it's going to be budget friendly, just commons, uncommons, and I'll have some other fun deck ideas. So hopefully see you tomorrow or whenever the next time you're available. Have a nice night, everyone, and I'll see you next time.